Hello baby gangsters, this is Calvin, also known as Homer, and this is my first ever playthrough of Honkai Star Rail. And we got a message here, just starting off the game, or in this area I was going to, and it says, Stell, you don't happen to be at Stargazer Navalia right now, are you? How did you know? How did you know? You're not stalking me, are you? Sorry, now's not the time for jokes, oh god. I saw on the siren system that you were nearby, so like the cameras, little bird cameras. There's an important task I need your help with. It's really urgent, okay? The Exalted Sanctum Sky Dome malfunctioned half a dual hour ago. It was probably caused by an unusual yin-yang phenomenon from the Ambrosia Arbor's new growth. You usually have to wait then for them to do all the texts. Okay. This is the type of person who sends a bunch of texts at once. It's fine. Honestly, I could be like that sometimes too, you know? Especially when you have something exciting to tell someone, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, you kind of like, you're you know, you get very excited. The technical details are complicated, so I won't elaborate. In short, one district has a serious problem, and it's about to explode. The entire Loufu has yet to fully recover from all the chaos. Wait, what? Wait! The whole district? Okay, I can see why you're doing like multiple frantic texts now. The entire Loufu has yet to fully recover from all the chaos, and is no one able to handle this emergency. Fortunately, there is an office worker who was in the Skyfaring Commission who jumped on the Star Skiff and flew to the Sky Dome to carry out an emergency fix. But that Star Skiff also broke down during the rescue, probably due to yin-yang phenomena again, and lost contact over the Stargazer Navalia. It may have been forced to land or even crashed. I've already informed the Cloud Knights to send the reinforcements as soon as possible, but 1 second can mean a difference between life and death. Yeah! Can you folks please go take a look first? Where's the crash site? Yeah, we're going 100%. Where is it? Where is it? I'm still trying to find out. Your friend, Mr. Yang, is also nearby. I've already contacted him, so we're going with Welt. Anyways, try to find a vantage point in the Stargazer Navalia and use the siren to locate the Star Skiff. I'm counting on you folks. Also, this office worker is a bit special. I implore you to do everything in your power to save her life. So this is a higher up, or like someone like that, someone who's like very important here as well. For I have touched the sky. This is one of the companion quests we're doing today. So one thing you might notice as I'm playing this is that I have actually turned up the music a little bit. Now what happened with the music was that the Cocolia boss fight was so freaking loud that like I turned down the music. So I turned up the music like 3 notches. And if that's not enough, please let me know and I'll turn it up 1 more notch as well. Because it's not the voices that are low anymore. I think for a lot of people, it's definitely just the music. And I don't mind turning things up. It's just obviously for the Cocolia stuff, I was actually like, you know, it was just really, really loud. And I didn't want that to happen again, but it apparently doesn't happen as much with the Cocolia boss fight.
Looks like there's smoke rising in the distance. Miss Chi sent us a Psycrane. See if you can get an aerial visual. This is an emergency. We need to find where the Star Skiff crashed as soon as possible.
Sure. Connect this Psycrane. So we're actually going to be using the Psycrane here? Oh, we are! After interacting with the rooster, the Psycrane itself, you can start remotely controlling the crane. Psycranes can fly along and reach areas that are inaccessible to characters. Characters will remain at the original position while the Psycrane is being remotely controlled. While flying a Psycrane, you can control it or to send it or descend. Psycranes use different scenarios to accomplish various tasks. This is going to be so interesting. We have a flying video game now. Okay, who's been... Those are arbor creatures, right? Man, I'm freaking flying. This game is wild. So what exactly are we trying to locate here, I wonder? Take it easy, Icarus? Oh, they don't want us... Oh, they're giving us a shorter area. What about these guys? Let's see. We have to find, like, obviously, like, it's going to be a search for the victim, so we're going to have to search for, like, a person. Right? That looks pretty damaged down there, right? Should we descend a bit? Should we go down a bit? No, that's a, what you call it, like a domain. Is that the victim? I know. They can fight the Psycranes? That's pretty nuts. So, we're looking for the victim. And it has to be in this area? Interesting. Down here, probably. Or over there? Use the side crane to search for the victim. I'm starting to believe this victim doesn't exist. Oh, Jesus Christ, what the hell? Oh my God, they're like right here. They're right there. I'm so sorry. This poor individual. How do we search for the target here? Is this not the victim? Oh, okay. I was like, if that's not the victim, they have another problem.
That must be who Miss Shikui asked us to save. We need to hurry. Those abominations have trapped her. Be careful.
I will. Thank you. You know what I mean? I was like, if that's not the victim, I like that's not who we have to find. Then like, holy hell, that whoever that is gonna have even more problems. How do we get down there? Oh, there's an elevator over here, I'm guessing. No, but there's a chest. How do we?
This doesn't intrigue me.
I think there's an elevator over here then, right? Yeah. This has to be it, right? Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. Yeah, this is exactly it. I wonder what importance this person's gonna have going forward. I'm excited to do the companion missions. I don't know how many companion missions we're gonna be doing per episode because, of course, like we don't know how long they are. The general rule is the general rule is that if I can do how do I say it? The general rule is if I can do 2, I will do 2. If I can do 3, I'll do 3. You know, if there's only room for 1, we'll only do 1. You know what I mean? That's just the general rule that I tend to have with this stuff. I have a feeling this guy was gonna chase us. Oh, we got one of these guys. Fantastic. Still reusing this team today, by the way. I really feel like for this team I have in terms of
The 10 lords.
like the support system here, where you know, and it's not always gonna work. You know, I know that. I know that we're gonna have to change as things go on as well. Like it's not like, you know, something I'm gonna be stubborn about it. As you guys know, I like, if you watch the Genshin playthrough, I tend to like, you know, change things, you know, when needs be, and also have fun as well. And I think once we get to know characters more, wishing on the banner is gonna be even like more fun, of course, because we haven't even dented the game yet in like what we can do in this game. So it's gonna be like a bit of time before we like find the characters that we want to wish on. You know what I mean? But I feel like the support system we have for these characters,
Let me through.
lovely. In terms of Locha, Hanya,
Receive divinity.
and Bronya, is actually like really freaking good. Like I actually like it a lot, and I think it's actually like, you know, I would say been one of the reasons why we've been able to do like so many of the battles really well, I guess. Because it's like, for me, having Locha on your team, for example, and Bronya especially, and Hanya's good too, but I feel like having like Locha on your team, like just like buffing the heck out of like, healing the heck out of almost everything you're doing, even like when you don't even ask him to, is such a benefit. It is. Let him go.
Hey, get out of here! It's too dangerous.
Go get someone from the Skyfaring Commission. Tell them Qing Ni is in
Qing Ni.
trouble.
Throw any abominations. We got this.
Don't worry, Miss Cheney. We've been in worse
Yeah.
danger.
110%.
This is serious.
Let's just start with a
I shall be the judge.
burden.
Let me through.
There we go.
Take
And this actually shouldn't take that long at all, though.
Rise, Phoenix!
Just go for it.
We've entered the storm.
We don't need this, you know what I mean? But like, I still like to use like as much moves as I can, you know?
Lend me your strength. Dodge this!
Because there's no point, like, you know, just not using our abilities when they charge up so fast as well. Now there's 4?
There are too many monsters. Let's hold out for a little longer. The Cloud Knights should be here
I love
soon.
seeing like Stella and Welt together.
Just run. These monsters can't get up here anytime soon.
No can do, Miss Cheney. We're not
Oh, there's
abandoning
Dad.
you.
We won't leave you. Hey, you think we can take them? We won't leave you here. Yeah, we won't leave you here. Not at all.
You two have held out long
Yukong!
enough. Help is at hand.
Yukong's showing up, like, it's the first time in a while we've seen Yukong. Like, real time, it's been like a month and a bit, right?
Cloud Knights, formation. Prepare to engage.
In terms of my real time. Calvin time.
Hold on, Qing Ni. We're coming to get
This
you.
is pretty freaking cool. Yukong showing up at this moment as well. So I wonder if this is a Yukong companion quest?
By the will of the
I
Ten
bet.
Lord, the Ten Lords decree, hereby
I'll bet.
ordained.
I'll bet it's a Yukong.
Nothing major. Eternal sleep is not the end. The dead return!
There's
Yeah, so let me
always
know
a
how the music sounds now. I think it sounds okay for my money, but you know, you guys
Lend me your strength. Let me through.
are usually the best judge of this as well, you know?
Take this. Shape of time. Rise, Phoenix.
And also, I'm also looking to do some events at some point, so if you could, let me know which events are cool. Let me know which events that you guys would like to see. I'll say it again in the next quest as well, because I know the next quest is going to be a Trailblaze quest as well.
This is serious.
But I want everybody's input on that as well, because again, like, it's like, you know, I think that there are, like, every event is probably very cool, but obviously, like, doing every single event would take a very, very long time. But I'd still like to do, like, some events, because they let you do events from the past, right? Which is really neat.
Lend
It's
me
actually
your
one of my
strength.
favorite things about this game.
Want to see what I can do?
And to not take advantage of that would be very, very upsetting.
Receive divinity.
See what I
I
mean?
will remember you.
Didn't you have to say anything? A lot of enemies here.
Recount.
I'll see you off. Bloom.
Your assistance is timely. Let me through.
So let's start off. Oh, we don't even have enough to do the extra ability. Let's go with
Take this.
yeah, let's just try and get like thin out the numbers as much as possible.
This battle is unavoidable. Lend me your strength.
I love this combo here as well. Who's next? Anya. Let's just blast this guy away.
Dodge this.
And we can even use this. I always forget that you can use this on enemy turns, which is sick.
Give it up. We've entered the storm.
So sick.
To guard and defend. Crush them. Want to see what I can do? You're not going anywhere.
You chose the wrong.
Nice.
You'll pay for this. Lend me your strength.
I love even the animation of that move. I've recovered from break. Yeah, you did recover from break. Well done. But now all your friends are gone.
I shall be the judge.
Not in my heart. Let's not make emotional stuff out of these enemies. It will make me sad. After considering the abomination, the Cloudlets rescued the trapped girl. Fantastic.
I didn't know the Helm Master of the Skyfaring Commission dealt with situations like this in person.
Indeed. I should be reviewing files in the Palace of Astrum. However, Qing Ni decided to put herself in danger and trouble our esteemed guests with her safety. As her mother, I couldn't sit idly by.
Her mother, by the way. So that's why she's so important as well. The sound effects are a little bit louder maybe than the dialogue. I might change that a little bit. Mother, so that's why.
Qing Ni, have you thanked your benefactors yet?
No need to thank us. Absolutely fantastic to help anybody out here. You know, I love this place.
Thank you, benefactors.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. You were in danger.
No need, Miss Qingni.
Yeah, exactly. And as easy as taking out the trash. Yeah, it was all thanks to Yukong's timely appearance. We'll say this.
You Astral Express Trailblazers have outstanding manners, though your allegories are a little odd.
We love trash.
It was because of both of you that Qing Ni escaped unscathed. Words cannot express my gratitude. In fact, by way of thanks, I'd like to invite you to the Palace of Astrum for tea. It is about time we knew each other better.
Sure.
The feeling is mutual, Lady Yukong. We would.
I mean, I love tea parties, 100%.
Then, for now, I will excuse myself. Qing Ni's irresponsible actions caused much trouble for the two of you. Allow me to apologize once again on her behalf.
The only problem was us not seeing her in that moment, you know what I mean? That was the only problem.
You always do this, Mother. Scold me before figuring out what actually happened. It was a dire situation. I was the only one who could.
Oh, because she went off like, and then her star skiff broke down.
You promised me, Qing Ni. We shall discuss this when we return.
Qing such a pretty name as well.
Please excuse us, benefactors. I look forward to our meeting.
Thank you. Tea party. Call it a tea party. It's what it is.
I didn't know Yukong had that side to her.
You mean the scary mom side? Or the warlike side? I always thought of her as like very stern and serious from the first conversation we had with her.
You have a unique way of putting things.
Well, I call you Dad. So...
But you're not wrong. Appearances seemingly tell us little about the lives of the Xianzhou's leaders, no matter how long those lives may have been. Yukong's inner worries and concerns came to the surface in the presence of her daughter. Only then was it clear that she, too, is somebody's mother.
That's, again, I think the way that, like, I feel like you relate to this a lot, Mr. Young Dad. Like, I think that, like, what he's saying is, like, makes actually perfect sense because it's like, you know, we look at people from, like, sometimes a one-dimensional perspective because we have stuff going on in our own lives and we have stuff we have to worry about ourselves. And then you kind of, like, look at this as, like, oh, yeah, that's somebody's daughter. That's somebody's son. That's somebody's mother. You know what I mean? That's somebody's father. You know? I feel like you relate to this a lot, Mr. Yang.
Yes. After all, I know what it's like to worry over a kid's homework and whether their lunch is healthy enough.
You talking about us? Or do you have actual kids?
But there's something I don't understand.
I hope it's talking about us.
Qing Ni piloted a star skiff without permission and put herself in danger, but she meant well. Nevertheless, Yukong's reaction suggests that there was something more. Anyway, let's head over to the Palace of Astrum. Best not to keep Yukong waiting.
I'm up for a tea party. To the palace!
Let's avoid sudden exclamations like that once we're in the palace. Remember, this is no field trip. We're having tea with the Helm Master of the Skyfaring Commission.
Okay.
We'll need to act with diplomatic decorum.
Okay.
All right. Let's head out before it gets late.
Okay, Dad. Okay. No, like, I should, maybe I shouldn't. We should just at least go over here to unlock this, right? He is very dad-like, isn't he? I don't care what he says. He's our dad, you know? That's our dad, Welt. But no, I actually like, oh, this place we came into first, remember? But like, I do love, before we go there, I do love that he's like, You know, that he's kind of like the one who is like very, very good to have when you need someone serious with you. Now, I tend to like probably pick more serious options when I'm not around Welt, because I'm like, we have to actually like be a bit serious here, you know what I mean? But since Welt's like, you know, that guy, I'm like, okay, let's still be a little bit weird, in the best way possible. Let's transfer to here as well. Oh my god, I remember this place when we first came here. So amazing. When we first encountered Wukong and the general.
Why won't you listen to me?
Because it's my life.
So there's an argument going on here between mother and daughter.
You know I have the talent to make it. I can become the Lufu's best pilot, just like you were.
Oh, so I wonder if she's worried about her trying to do that.
Talent? You'd be dead if it weren't for those two travelers. Do you think stealing a star skiff and taking to the skies is a show of talent? What about being trapped by abominations? Did you at any moment think about what I would feel if something happened to you?
Such a, like, again, like it's a really tough situation because it's like the worry of a mother as well, you know, versus a child who wants to spread their wings quite a bit. Beautiful music here, by the way, you know, it's always like a recipe for like conflict, you know, always.
Do you know how many people dream of a relaxing desk job at the Skyfaring Commission? You promised me to work responsibly in your post. Not only have you broken the Skyfaring Commission's regulations, you've broken your promise to me.
Very good voice acting here as well, right? You can hear like this, like this concern and fear in their voice while trying to also be very stern, you know?
I already told you. I had no choice. I want to help you and the Skyfaring Commission, not sit at my desk dealing with never-ending papers. That job doesn't suit me. I got the highest grade in the fighter pilot test. They all said I was a genius, like you. Like mother, like daughter. They were all jealous of me.
So she's also like getting like a lot of like, there's a feeling of like, I don't want to sit at the desk for all this time, but there's also this thing where it's like, well, people are like hyping me up like crazy. You know what I mean? And again, it's not hype if it, you know, hype can be come from a place of like reality as well. So it's very clear that people also like, it's accurate, right? If people are saying this, and it probably is accurate. So like all of this, like, is, as I said, just one big recipe for like a conflict between mother and daughter here.
But no one even knew I had to take the test behind your back. You would never have allowed me to go if I told you about it.
There's some deeper reason why she doesn't want to do this. And it could just be concern, but like there's probably a reason behind the concern.
Behind my back? Do you really think you could have walked into the test and sat in the cockpit if I hadn't given my permission behind the scenes? As for genius, don't mention that word to me again.
Oh, really?
Why do you insist on becoming a pilot? Don't understand.
And I don't understand why you don't understand. Why can anyone in the world become a fighter pilot except the Helmmaster's daughter? Don't you realize how ridiculous that is? You may not want to fly anymore, but don't trap me down here with you.
Wow. And again, like when I'm saying there's a reason behind the concern, you know, anyone with their child become a fighter pilot is terrified. You know what I mean? Like I would be terrified. It's a scary thing, but like the idea of don't trap me down here with you, that implies that your mother is trapped, right?
Qingni,
you know, and to leave the conversation like that. And I mean, sometimes it is good to just separate and go your separate ways, and hopefully that everyone can calm down a little and think about everything. But it is always difficult to leave off a conversation on like a line that can sometimes hurt, you know?
I'm sorry you had
Jeez,
to
don't worry about
witness
it. Don't worry about it whatsoever.
Apologies, Madam Yukong. We should have given you some time.
Miss Yang, I told you we'd be early. Yeah, I'll say yes, apologies.
On the contrary, I apologize for allowing my own personal matters to encroach on
Oh my
your
god, so
time.
it's your daughter. Do not worry about it, it's your daughter.
We don't intend to pry into private business, Helmmaster Yukong. But if there's anything we can help with, please don't hesitate to ask.
Family issues, I'm afraid. You probably heard a thing or two just
Yep.
now. Despite my earnest wish that she continue in her post, Qingni is fixated on becoming a fighter pilot. I may seem overbearing, but the situation she gets herself into sent a shiver up my tail.
So she seems to be a bit rambunctious, like, you know, someone who like gets into trouble quite a bit.
It's funny, isn't it? I've seen every disaster imaginable, from the abundance axis to a living planet. I thought I'd forgotten what fear
So
was.
interesting, right? So interesting, and it makes so much sense.
But when I fought alongside you, I realized there are still things that can terrify me. I'm sorry. Talking about such vexing matters is unbecoming.
It's
in
okay.
front of
It's a highly emotional moment, and like the reason why it makes so much sense is that like, you know, it's like we all have things that like we're afraid of, right? Like I'm afraid of heights. I'm terrified of heights. I used to be afraid of spiders. Now like it's kind of weird. I'm like afraid of like in-game spiders, but not like real-world spiders not as much anymore. I think it's just because in-game spiders like actually do jump at you and attack you. Besides that, like someone who is fearless isn't actually fearless. You know what I mean? That's just, it doesn't exist. There's no one who doesn't have any fear in the world. Because a lot of people don't take into account the emotional fear of losing someone, you know, or the possibility that someone could get hurt belonging to you, you know?
I invited you here to gain a better understanding of the Express. Not bore you with these
No,
trivialities.
not boring at all. Not boring.
Oh, I prepared refreshments for you. Please, you must try this excellent whale tide spring.
Though things didn't go off with a great start, you enjoyed this meeting with, everyone enjoyed the meeting with Yukong.
Please accept these gifts as thanks for saving my daughter. I'd heard that the Nameless had traversed the Starry Sea, but I wasn't prepared for how much I could learn from you.
Well, I'd heard from members of the Skyfaring Commission that you were a top-tier pilot, Madam Yukong, and an ace among the Cloud Knights. Now that I've seen you in action, I know the rumors were true. I hope to witness your flying ability for myself one
Can
day.
I just listen to how they pronounce the...
Well, I'd heard from members of the Skyfaring Commission that you were a top-tier pilot, Madam Yukong.
It
and
is
an ace among the
Yukong,
Cloud
right?
Knights.
Yukong?
Now that I've
Because I know that like it can sometimes be like Wukong or, you know, Woogie, or, you know, depending on like the, you know, the language and the culture, I suppose. But correct me always, but I think it said Yukong.
We'll head off now. The commission must be busy. I look forward to our next meeting, Madam Yukong.
On my flying ability, I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint you, Mr. Yang. The sky no longer suits me.
The sky no longer suits me. And that's something that does happen quite a bit, right? Where it's like someone who like actually fought in battles is someone who is well respected then as a general, you know? It's like some, you know, it's I know it sounds like so redundant, but there are people who can just like become higher ups in like you know, and they tend to like get control of like an army or things like this, or like, and they haven't actually had any experience in that stuff, you know?
Looks like you still wish to talk. Seems our every meeting is accompanied by an incident of some sort. I hope I can meet the Astral Express crew under better circumstances.
Oh yeah,
next
I
time.
understand. I understand completely. Don't worry about it. There's so much going on right now. Thank you for helping us out and sending that text to us earlier. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough when it comes to family, you know? The desire to protect your family, but also the necessary devil of letting them spread their wings sometimes. It's hard to find that happy medium between the two of them, you know? It's really difficult.
You two, please.
Sure.
Wait. Thank you for saving me, benefactors. And I'm sorry you had to witness.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. I understand it's a parent-child relationship. Look, I'm with my dad right now. You shouldn't have talked. I don't think that's the way to talk right now. You know what I mean? It was a very difficult situation.
So you've experienced it yourself, benefactor. That's great. I mean, I'm happy I finally found someone who can understand me.
I mean, it's to me like it's like one of the most easily like even if you weren't even involved in this whole thing that's happening, it's one of the most easily understandable situations I think that they've done in this game. You know.
But I've had the hairpin ceremony. I'm an adult now. I have the right to pursue my dreams.
Right.
Mom still insists on sheltering me under her wing, as if I can't even stay alive without
And
her.
there is the big conflict, right? It's that like, yes, 100%. I've done all this stuff. I am an adult now. But to the mother, it's like, you'll always be my little girl. You know what I mean? Which again, you need to let them spread their wings. You need to let them fly, right? But also it's the happy medium between like also like providing them a safe place that they, you know, they where they can feel safe still. What was that? You know what I mean? It's very difficult.
Miss Qingni, these are family matters. I'm not sure it's my place to comment. However, in my personal experience, becoming a parent often means we become obstinate. To erode a rock, one must be patient and persistent. Like
Did
water.
Welt is Welt talking about his actual? Have I just forgotten that he said he had like a bunch of children or something, or is he actually talking about? If he's talking about us, I'm gonna be so happy. But like, you know,
What I mean to say is, instead of trying to prove yourself suddenly, perhaps you could demonstrate your ability to look after yourself methodically over
that's
time.
an interesting way of looking at it,
Don't you think, Miss Qingni?
right? That's a really interesting. I don't think I have the qualifications to advise here. When it comes to family stuff, I leave it to Mr. Yang.
My mom is actually a reasonable
Right.
person, but she gets unreasonable as soon as I mention
Right, and that's the
flying.
one thing that like probably upsets her because she's probably been through it as well. She knows what it's like.
She hid
Oh.
my Starskiff toys, dragged me away from the port when I stayed behind to count ships, forced me to study
This is
for
big then.
ages.
This is a huge thing for her.
I did everything I could to work my way into the Skyfaring Commission. But she used her authority to assign me a desk job.
And like that's clearly like then something that like is Yukong is main concern is like I do not want Xingyi ever becoming a pilot, and they worked this hard to like make sure they didn't, because it seems like this has been a dream of Xingyi for a long time.
Every time I walk along Star Watcher Avenue and look up at those ships flying freely across the sky, I feel empty inside. Speaking of empty inside, so how were Mom's refreshments? Good?
And that's the thing, it's like you understand a parent being overprotective, but it's also like this is Xingyi's dream, you know? The aroma was incredible. Help yourself. I'm sure there's some left over. I'll say the aroma was incredible.
I've been so angry today, I forgot to
Definitely eat
anything.
something. Definitely eat something, because you're not gonna be able to think about other stuff if you're thinking about food. Definitely get something to eat.
How about this? My mom thanked you guys with refreshments, so I should do the same. Let me take you around Starskiff Haven. We can try the most authentic snack on the Loufu.
We can. That's fine. I have no problem. Some snacks. It's such an interesting quest because already like it just feels very like, as we said. Well, it's just here. Okay. It feels incredibly natural and real. Like the conflict feels so real. And like while I feel like they've done a good job of like, you know, doing conflict in this game so far, I mean like Jesus Christ, we had the Kafka Blade, Don Hung stuff and all that stuff. Like of course they do. I feel like this is more like on a, for now, it's more on like one of those like very easily understandable for any person ever. Even if you don't have the type of conflict with your parents where like, oh, they're not letting me do what I want and stuff like this. We all understand in some ways, even from watching television, that this is a thing that like happens. You know what I mean? This is a thing that happens in real life all the time. I love this. It's still my favorite thing in the world. It's so cool. Look at this. Does it still change to Blade? Because I guess they're still technically fugitives, right? I guess they're still technically fugitives, but they're... It's just that they're not actually being actively pursued. It's just like probably for the public. But then again, I would like, you know, take these down and be like, hey, they're gone, you know? But I don't know. Maybe they want the public to be on alert.
We're here. The thing about the most authentic snack on the Xianzhou Loufu is it's a drink, and it's inside this
Cool.
vending machine.
Well, the full 5-star true tea again. I got enough of the. Neither of these answers is what I would say. I'm going to cover the screen and just say this.
No, it's a local specialty.
I don't care if the
Trust
drink's
me.
from a vending machine. I don't care if the drink is from someone's fridge. I don't care if the drink is from a fancy restaurant. I don't care if the drink is from a fast food place. If someone's offered me a free drink and they're being very nice about it, I'm grateful.
Here, mung bean soda. One
And
can
before
each.
anyone says, I know that Stell is just joking around. I know that Stell is like not like actually being rude. I understand this 100%. I understand. I understand. I understand. All right.
This thing has a bit of a unique flavor, but I love it.
Let me try. A nostalgic
Nostalgic.
experience.
Okay.
Oh, is there a drink like this where
I think
you're
food can
from?
be nostalgic though, right?
No, this reminds me of when I first boarded the Express and forced myself to drink Himiko's coffee, and how my taste buds never fully recovered.
Okay.
So, how is it?
Bearable?
Bearable?
Delicious? Anyone have a bucket? Are you sure you're not angry at us for rescuing you? So this is, I guess, very bad. But let's just be like, oh yeah, it's a local delicacy, you know. This is pretty good. Yeah, food can be nostalgic and drinks can be nostalgic. When I ever have like a cup of tea and like a rasher sandwich or something, like it reminds me of my childhood as well. Delicious, simply delicious.
Whoa! I've never met a traveler who could down a mung bean soda like that. But I guess not everyone can accept what I like. Just
So
like
she's also
flying.
using this as an analogy in her head. Like she's thinking about this all the time.
Well, don't force yourself. Let's go somewhere else. Ooh, I know a really great place in Starskiff Haven to Starskiff watch.
Oh my god, she still goes Starskiff watching? Oh my god, let her fly. Oh my lord. This is where we started this game, by the way. No, like that's like, she clearly like cares about this so much, and like, I still can't get over how cool this looks, by the way, with the ships going overhead. Okay, I don't know if we have time to deal with whatever this is. What the hell? What are you talking about? I thought they were like robots. But I guess they have personalities? I don't think I have time to deal with it. A depressed... What? Honkai? But yeah, like, obviously I'm not going to just be like, yeah, let her fly, because obviously there's some stuff going on here that we don't even know about. But it's also like this thing, it's like, man, she cares about this so much, and she's so passionate. You know? I don't want to let that passion die.
You know, there are a lot of mung bean soda moments in life. If you don't try, you won't know. Unique experiences are often a product of risky
Yep.
choices.
Tell that to my mom. Her #1 life lesson is, you can't turn back once you enter the sky. Pilots are always dancing with death.
Yeah, and that's what we're getting at, right? You can't, like, that's why she's probably so scared.
I know she's right. I know being a fighter pilot is an exhausting and dangerous job. But I still want to fly among the stars. To fight for the Xianzhou Alliance across the vast galaxy.
Why are you so dedicated to that idea, Miss Jingni?
Have you heard of the Foxian birth fate tradition? Soon after a child is born, we surround them with items that represent future
Interesting.
destinies. If the child reaches for a jade abacus, then they'll grow up to be a diviner. If they reach for a sword, then they'll grow up to be a famous warrior. And if they reach for a toy starskiff,
That's actually a very interesting tradition, isn't it? To become a toy salesman, to become a Starskiff pilot, so you reach for the Starskiff?
no, not me. My genius
Wait,
mom.
so you
did.
didn't?
Mom reached for the starskiff and showed a natural talent for flying. General Jing Yuan recruited her to the Cloud Knights as soon as she was old enough. That's how she
So
became
like
a
you're almost like
fighter
living in the shadow of this prodigy of a fighter pilot.
pilot. Later, she achieved miracles. One time, she destroyed 3 beast ships in a hail of Barisan anti-aircraft fire, like an arrow tearing through a thunderstorm. She also holds the Skyfaring Commission records for speed and enemy vessels destroyed.
She's
I'm
pretty
proud
famous
to
as
be
well.
Madame Yukong's daughter. I've wanted to become a legend like her for as long as I can remember.
I can imagine. A parent is often a child's first hero, and their image can influence their
That's Welt
whole
with
life.
us three. Me, Don Hong, and March.
She never told me any of those stories
And Himiko.
herself. And she hasn't piloted a star skiff since the 3rd Denizens of Abundance War. She doesn't even bring up her military.
That's crazy, especially since she's so honored, right?
I used to watch her fly when I was young. Then one time, I stole a star skiff and I tried all kinds of difficult maneuvers. Turns out I was as talented as she was. Not only did I survive the flight, my landing was perfect.
So like maybe a another prodigy here then.
I remember feeling so happy when they took me to see my mom. There I was boasting about the flight, expecting her to laugh,
no.
pat my head, say, "That's my girl," or something. But boy, I've never seen her
That
so
has
scary.
to suck. You know, expect, and it's happens to not just with your parents, expecting like praise for something and then it goes the other way. You know what I mean? That can feel bad.
I admit, I deserve to be punished. You can't let a kid get away with stealing a
No,
star skiff.
of course, but
But my mom was angry about more than that. She was angry because I viewed her as a role model. Because I had the same talent as her. I don't
imagine not being
understand it.
angry because like you see yourself in your child. Like that has to be such a weird feeling.
Parents never want their children to be in danger. I think I can understand, Madame Yukong.
But flying is the only thing I want to do. I've already touched the sky.
I guess it's hard to get out of that mentality after you do, I guess.
It's Mom's secretary, Miss Sequay. She just sent me a message. Mom lost one of her trinkets in Stargazer Navalia when she came to
Should we go get it?
Miss Sequay suggested
Sequay.
I find the trinket and return it to Mom. Said it might help me get back in her good books.
I don't think that's the way you look at it though, right? I think Sequay is probably looking at it from a very like clerical perspective. Like, I don't think it's about good books or bad books to me. I think it's literally just a situation where, like, they both needed to cool down quite a bit, and then they both need to, like, figure out what the situation is, because clearly one or the other doesn't want to back down. Getting into the good books, back into the good books temporarily is only going to make you more upset, because you have to just forget about your dream. Whereas from, you know, like, this daughter's perspective, what I would say is that she needs to find a way to come to terms, whatever they both choose in the end, of what she wants to do, and then find a way to make this dream happen. And if it's something that her mother can't accept, then she's gonna have to find a way to get around this. But the problem is, with Yukong as the, you know, in her position, it's probably not gonna be the easiest thing in the world at all to even like achieve your dream without that, you know? It's so interesting to have like a mother who was like so famous as a fighter pilot, and it's having the opposite effect of making you become a fighter pilot, right? Because, like, you know, it's like reverse nepotism in a way.
In Stargazer Navalia? Let's go with
Yeah.
you and have a look.
Is it really okay to bother
No
you
bother.
two again?
No bother. The goal of the Express Crew is to help other people. Our way of saying thanks for the one bean soda. It's
Sorry.
okay.
Please don't mention the monkey.
It's something you like, so I like it. Okay? That's the way we do it. All right? Ah, okay. Because I was wondering, there's like she just told us all this stuff. They're gonna give us. Did she write it down for us? I was like, that's a bit interesting. So you have to go back here again. Here, I guess. But I think that here would probably be the best option, right? Yep. Was this right? How far did she go? Wait. I guess we should just go here? Because I thought we'd get there from there, but no. I wonder how far she went. So we go down the steps and go up the steps? That's it? Excuse me.
The fight with the abominations was pretty chaotic. I think Mom's trinket would have dropped around.
Did we fight here?
Do you know what it looks like, Miss Qingni?
Let me think. It should be a little square thing. She's usually got something like that on her.
This is your area of expertise.
Isn't combat my experience? Isn't solving puzzles? It's solving puzzles my expertise. Who do you think I am, Deeting?
Your powers of perception are impressive, that's all. I think you're the right person for the job.
Okay, Dad. Okay. So we're doing the same thing again, this time with the, Wait, could it be here? Could it be in this thing? Is it this?
Come on, are you kidding? It's a trinket, remember?
Okay.
You
I'm
think
just
my
trying to
mom would
help.
carry this with her?
I'm just trying to help.
It's a beautiful vase, though. What an intricate pattern. Isn't that the divine beast fortune pattern?
You're so smart, Mr. Yang.
Yeah.
Well, I only recently found out about
Take
it.
the compliment, Mr. Yang. Take the compliment. Is this it? I know it's a cage. Is this bird cage it?
Cage. Huh. That reminds me. Have you guys heard of the birds that live in the Everhunt Plains? They have beautiful feathers, but you can't domesticate them. They don't live long if you lock them in a cage. Makes sense. How could a bird that's known the sky live in a cage?
Oh man, they're relating it to her, how she feels as well.
Well, this is too big for a trinket.
No? Wait, what? What happened? Could it also be over here, maybe? Because it can't be this, right?
Devastator glaive? Is this from the battle? There were a lot of Cloud Knights.
Right.
No. This is only a replica. Probably some kind of film prop.
What is... Man, I'm like, they said that this is instinctually something I'm good at, but they definitely didn't mean Calvin. They definitely didn't mean me, I'll tell you that much. Maybe go up higher? Because I can't... Unless, like, I want to try something here. Yeah. It has to be in this area? Because I was thinking, oh, maybe it's this one up here. No, it has to be in this area then. Man, I do not, like, this to me is like... Yeah, it makes me feel very silly sometimes just because, like, I feel like I'm not... There's something, like, right in front of me that I'm not seeing. You know what I mean? Oh, here it is. There it is. Yeah, that's definitely it. There we go. The one place I didn't look.
Mom always carries this trinket around with her, but I never realized there was something inside.
Isn't that an old joke? It's like, oh, it's the last place, when you find your keys, they're always in the last place you look. It's like, yeah, it's not gonna be the first place I look, is it? Well, it would be. The first will be the last as well if you find it the first place, you know?
Is this the Hunt Crest?
The Hunt Crest? I don't get it.
This is what pilots hang in their Starskiff cockpits for good luck.
Oh my god, it's almost adding insult to injury fighting this as well, right?
It must be very close to Helmmaster Yukong's heart. Let's head back, Miss Qingni. I think you should return this trinket in person. This is an opportunity for the two of you to talk.
Yes, and that's what I was trying to get at as well, and Welt put it in a way that was better than I ever
Not
could.
yet. I want to go back later.
Okay,
There's something I hope you two can help me with first.
let us know.
If you want us to help you persuade your mother, I'm afraid that could be difficult. It's not easy to solve a family dispute as an outsider.
Agree. So agree.
No, you misunderstand. I just want to know what she's thinking.
So you want us to talk to her?
What turned an ace pilot, someone who loved to fly, into someone like her? My mom clearly misses her flying days, otherwise she wouldn't keep this on her person. But she doesn't fly anymore and refuses to let me become a fighter pilot. Why?
I think it's a lot of fear. I think it's definitely fear.
Maybe we can ask some people who might know the truth.
Like Jinyuan?
Well, the General's been busy at the seat of Divine Foresight recently. We might not get to see him right
And canonically,
away.
I think he's like...
Still, it's worth a try. He was the one who promoted Helm Master Yukong. He probably knows more about her past than anyone.
This quest appears right after the main quest, right? And I think you can do it in this order. I think the General would be pretty effed up. A little bit effed up, right? Maybe. I don't know.
General Jin Yuan? Are you sure it's okay to go straight to him? Oh, right. You're the General's guests. Even so, this is asking a lot of you.
No problem. If we can get to the bottom of why Helm Master Yukong no longer flies, we might be able to find out why she doesn't want you to be a fighter pilot. We can't help you too directly, but an indirect conversation like this might give us a clue on how to convince your mother.
Leave it to us?
Yes, leave it to us.
In that case, thank you so much, benefactors. I'll head back to Starskiff Haven. I'm not ready to return to the Skyfaring Commission yet.
He's right over there. So I guess like maybe this is like maybe could canonically take place at a time that is maybe a little bit after. So I'm not sure. Maybe he's like just fine. Who knows? But I know that like and you'll see in the other video I triggered like the main quest as well when I came over here at one point. So yeah, I know there's that anyway. But it was only like a 2-minute cutscene. It's fine. But I will say as well that like what I was gonna say, the two things I was gonna say is first of all, what I was saying though with Wealth, like what he said made sense was that like I don't think it's a matter of like get into your parents' good books. I think it's also a matter of like it's such a good excuse to talk, which is like, and it's a way to like, you know, make sure both your pride isn't like scratched. It's like, hey, I found this is yours. Now can we talk? I know it seems kind of childlike, but it's something that like even like, you know, children would do, which is like, hey, you know, my mom gave me an extra ice pop. Do you want one? I'm sorry for what I said earlier. You know what I mean? It kind of like, it breaks the ice a little bit, you know what I mean? Of having to start the conversation. Let's do this.
Mr. Yang, and you? What brings you to the seat of divine foresight this time?
It's good to see you.
It's nothing urgent. We were hoping to understand Helm Master Yukong a little better.
Yukong? I heard an office worker from the Skyfaring Commission flew a star skiff to assist in the present crisis, but ran into trouble herself. She was only saved thanks to a couple of travelers. On behalf of the Loufu, you have my thanks once again.
He heard about what happened with Xingni.
The seat of divine foresight heard that Yukong, seldom seen but often feared temper, was on display. I believe the two of you were caught between mother and daughter.
Oh my god, he knows everything. He knows absolutely everything.
We heard that Helm Master Yukong was an outstanding pilot, but that she refuses to let her daughter embark on the same career.
Yukong herself is best placed to answer such questions. But naturally, You are here because you fear that Helmmaster Yukong would decline to answer.
Yes, 100%. The reason we went around, you know? It's so interesting how like Xinyu like is like, you know, such a perfect general in the sense that he is able to like like get everything out of this. You know what I mean? He knows everything about this area and his you know, this Xianzhou. Jesus.
If you wish to dispel Miss Qingni's curiosity, perhaps we can take a small step back from the topic at hand. What do you wish to know about Yukong the pilot?
Xinyu's memories, divine arrows, embers. So we try this first.
This is a divine object from the Rainbow Arbiter. Where did you find
That's the most shock you're ever going to get out of Xinyu. Inside a trinket belonging to Yukong?
This object has been stored inside Helmmaster Yukong's personal trinket all along. Miss Qingni lent it to us. She thought it might be a way to find out more about Yukong's past and why she no longer flies.
This object is no ordinary trinket. It has borne witness to blood.
Interesting way of putting it.
I'm sure you're both familiar with the Xianzhou's long galactic hunt. But have you heard of the denizens of Abundance Wars? As the Xianzhou has continued to cleanse the universe of immortal abominations, so too has the Abundance Axis succeeded in breaching our defensive lines. They pushed the Xianzhou to the brink of disaster.
I know about this war that was happening from Dan Shu's story, right? Like, I think that might be... Is that the same war? Because that was horrific. You know, they were like, the Xianzhou and the Arbiter... I don't want to say it was the Xianzhou's decision, by the way. I think it was the Arbiter themselves. Like, you know, destroyed a hospital. That's a war crime. You know what I mean? That is a war crime.
30 years ago, the Xianzhou Yaoqing and Fenghu were besieged by our enemies. Even in the long history of warfare between the Xianzhou Alliance and the denizens of Abundance, that air battle was one of the most tragic.
So it was a tragic air battle then.
We were greatly outnumbered by the abominations of Abundance. Almost 1 million fighter pilots
Holy
fought
hell.
in a bitter battle. Those who survived numbered no more than 100,000.
I'm sorry, but that's just disgusting. That's just disgusting. Like, how crazy is war, even in this world, that, like, 900,000 people just died? I'm sorry, that is disgusting. It's disgusting that anyone would even want to fight in a war like this. Jesus.
Had the Rainbow Arbiter not descended and destroyed the enemy's assault with their sky-shattering Lux Arrow, who's to say whether the Loufu would still be here?
And during this Lux, is this the same Lux Arrow that destroyed the hospital? I think it was, and I think in the process destroyed a lot of people on the Xianzhou side as well, who were not even in the war, who were like on the front lines healing people.
Such divine objects were forged from the embers that the Arbiter's divine arrow left behind. For the survivors, these relics contain the blood of their comrades, the ashes of their enemies, and the dust of their memories. Yukong is a survivor of that war. Her best friend, Tai, perished on the
It just
battlefield.
sounds like these war, like, yeah, I know it's war, so of course, but like, they just brought so much pain to like the ordinary person. You know what I mean? Like, it just brought so much pain while the gods are laughing, you know what I mean? And like are cheering and roaring and stuff like this. Like, the brutality that is brought upon the ordinary person and has changed their lives forever, to the point that she will never even let her daughter fly a plane like this, right? And it makes sense, right, why she wouldn't. And then again, you look at the side of Dan Shu, what it drove Dan Shu to do. Like, it's just so crazy what this battle has done to people on an emotion level. Not like there's already the deaths and the you know, the injuries and all this stuff, but like on an emotion level as well.
I don't have any other questions. Thank you, General.
I do not wish
Crazy.
to speculate on the reason behind Helmmaster Yukong's reluctance to fly. nor do I want to open up old wounds. However, it is difficult to discard one's past. Yukong and Sai trusted each other with their lives. The Helmmaster will have strong memories
Of course.
of that time.
Of course you would.
Perhaps it is not my place to say, but I believe Qingni has the right to know about the past, as the past is starting to affect her
Very
future.
interesting way of phrasing it. Thank you, General. Right, he's kind of like, usually like they don't need to know this stuff, but it's the fact that like now this is affecting her as well, right? Thank you, General.
Thank you, General. We apologize for taking up your time with such triviality.
Mr. Yang, you jest. How can harmony between parent and child
Yeah.
constitute a
I
triviality?
kind of agree.
If you ask me. The mountains of documents and the seat of divine foresight are the only triviality around here.
We'll take our leave. Let's go. We should head to Starskiff Haven and find Qingni.
I do love the General's perspective on this as well, though, because I think that, like, how do I say it? He's not, like, obviously I don't think war is good, right? I think, like, that's like an understatement of the century, right? That's like, saying the water is wet for a lot of people. The majority of people in the world think the war is a bad thing. You know what I mean? That's just, the truth, right? That's just the truth. But, right, I think from a general perspective, it's interesting that like they've written him to a point that he is like very casual about some things, but then when it comes to like the stuff with the Arbiter, at least on the surface, like he is very much just like, he's very down to business when it comes to the outcomes of a war, what would have happened in a war. And while we can sit here and be like, everything that happened there was absolutely horrific, we know what it's led people to do, it was just horrible, and I agree with that, and I'll stand by that to the end of my days. From a general perspective, it's like, we won. You know what I mean? But I'm glad that he's also acknowledging the emotional trauma that this would put in place to people as well, right? Because it would.
Oh, something else on your mind?
I have a few other questions. We're going to ask about this stuff as well.
Did Qingni tell you any of this? It all serves to remind me. A long time ago, a young Foxian girl, charged by the Knights with a high-speed flight violation, was brought before
Oh
me
my
as
god.
punishment. Now, she's the Madam Helmmaster, my equal.
So that is like mother, like daughter stealing the ships.
If I were to turn back the sands of time and try to convince my past self that the little girl in front of me would one day become a wise and experienced Helmmaster, I would have probably never have believed it.
Love that. Absolutely love that.
The Yukong of the past was nothing like she is now, spending her days surrounded by documents at her desk. She was a flaming wind. The only one who could ever calm her was her comrade.
She lost her anchor then. She lost her anchor when her friend died. Comrade?
Yes. Large fighter starscapes need to be operated in pairs. One pilot takes the helm, the other controls the turrets.
Oh, so it legitimately is like you were like not in that way, right? But maybe in that way, depending on who you are. But like a life partner, you know what I mean? A literal like save your life partner, I guess.
The legend of the ace fighter pilot is incomplete without the ace gunner. Yukong's partner was Sai. Both at the controls and behind the turret. Sai was like a cold blade, efficient, decisive, unfeeling when she had to be. It's hard to imagine such contrasting personalities working in perfect harmony. As I mentioned, the campaign inflicted heavy losses on the Xianzhou Air Force.
Yeah, and I'm glad that he talks about that, right? The idea of like what that battle did, and and we get to see. And I don't think Honkai shies away from that. The emotional trauma that battle brings and the pain that death brings as well. It doesn't shy away from that whatsoever. In fact, like it seems like so many times, especially in Xianzhou and Beilbog so far, it's a lot of stories of like people you know, trying to just take every day one step at a time, but stumbling so many times along the way, right? And it's very, very difficult, you know, to do that. But I feel like they're writing it in a very fantastic way. We're heading here. Back to, yeah, Xingni.
Oh, you're here. My mom isn't in a great mood. She went for a walk.
It sounds like she's, she has a reputation that she can have like a bit of a temper sometimes. She skipped work, isn't in a great mood.
Mm-hmm. Probably because of me.
Yeah, but don't think of it like this, okay? You know, you were standing up for yourself as well in your own way. You were expressing yourself. Things got heated.
You two are very
We learned that. It's like, yeah, especially what she got in trouble for with before.
Well, we do both like to take a walk after a fight. The only difference is that I come to this side of Starskiff Haven
Oh
and
my
she
God.
heads to the other. That way, we don't bump into each
That's
other.
actually quite adorable. Yeah, it's it is. It's actually kind of cute.
Really? I think it's silly.
No, if I heard about this, I would be like nearly dying with tears of like adorableness. That is actually very cute to me. You know, they don't go to the because they know each other. Go to the other side.
Anyway, did you find anything out from General Jing Yuan?
Yeah. You relay information provided by Jin Yuan to Xingni. I love the name Xingni. It's so pretty.
Did Helmmaster Yukong never bring this up with you?
I was always curious about her past, but she either dodged my questions or pretended not to hear them. In the end, I realized she probably experienced something that left a scar that never fully healed.
Right.
I never asked her again.
Yeah, and especially if you know a scar that festers, right? It can be very difficult to heal. She was afraid of you ended up like her friend.
Indeed. That's probably why Yukong was never willing to fly again after the battle, and why she forbids you from flying.
She lost her whole rock.
So she doesn't want me to fly because she remembers the pain of losing her friend. And she thinks that my talent makes it more likely that she'll lose me in the same way?
I can't guarantee that's what she's thinking, Miss Xingni. You should talk with her yourself.
I think communication is going to be so important, and especially calm communication. But again, I understand as well between parents and children, it can sometimes be difficult to have like good productive conversations because again, emotions are so high. And sometimes like people just have the parents that won't listen. You know what I mean? That can happen sometimes too. So I'm hoping that this isn't going to be the case, you know? Because it's easy. It's one of the easiest things in the world to do is to blanket a kid as just like being, you know, like in this perspective, you know, with Xingni, to blanket her as just being like, she's just, you know, rambunctious and she's, you know, she's not grateful for her position and all this stuff, rather than actually like talk about like, you know, what is making them feel this way, you know? Because sometimes it's easier that way and sometimes I think it can be a thing where it's like, well, I'm the adult and they're both adults now, but it's like, I'm the mother, I get to say what goes. Why aren't you like just agreeing with this? Which again, I don't think that's her mother. I think it's just she come from a place of pain. But like I'm saying, sometimes conversations can go the way. So communication can be very difficult with family. It can be. If you're very lucky to have a very communicative family, it's a very good thing.
You're right, Mr. Yang. But I still have something else to check first. This pass that General Jing Yuan mentioned is probably archived in the Palace of Astro.
Okay.
I remember watching her handle a document with great care before she filed it away. It looked like a diary.
Oh, so you want to get her diary?
Do you still remember where it was filed, Miss Xingni?
Vaguely. But there are so many files stored in the Skyfaring Commission. Could I ask you benefactors to look for it with me?
You had us at, well, before you even asked, you had us.
A couple of Outworlders going through Skyfaring Commission files isn't a good look. I'm afraid we can only accompany you, Miss Xingni. You'll need to do the searching yourself.
I'll help you. I'll go through them.
Of course. You're right. Sorry.
I'll get in trouble. You know what I mean? What are they going to do? You know, I just took down the entire, me about to like go through all these secret files and then like Kafka comes along. Please. I'm trying to make you friend. Please. Just putting her hand on my hand. Stop. Oh, no, stop. All right. But I'm just checking. No, stop. Ellie was saw that you were going to do this. Please stop. So we have to go here? On travel presenting gifts. Oh, here we are. Investigate. The calculation device is running a void simulation. It shows what needs 2 more dual hours to simulate the voyage from the Loufu to the floating city of Cordelia.
It seems like this device is handling some important procedures. Let's leave it alone.
Sure. Or we could break one of these things. Excuse me, you don't mind me checking this out. Actually, I could get in trouble. Thank you. Oh, Griachi is talking to us.
I know what it looks like, but I'm using Celestial Jade to improve the algorithm.
Bro.
I'm working. I swear.
Bro, you can slack off as much as you want. Ain't none of my business.
Sorry. We'll get going.
Dude, slack off as much as you want. In fact, I can lie for you if you want. I don't care. So I'm guessing it's probably here, right? Floating calligraphy. Yanin's workstation on his personnel prohibited.
Mr. Yang Ming is a stickler for rules.
Oh, I guess it's not this one.
I don't want to annoy him. Let's go to a different device.
Sure. There's more over here as well. There's so much to read that like we're gonna have to like spend some time. I said we're gonna have to find some space and time for me to be able to read all this stuff.
We can use this one. Okay. Let me see.
Not all this stuff, by the way.
Personal archive.
Because each letter is like 10 paragraphs.
Let's go take a look.
So we're gonna have to just find the right time to read some of them, and ones that I want to read. I might go through them to see which ones I would want to read. Where are we going? Oh, just over here. Okay. This is such a cool space, isn't it? Like such a sick location. I love the jade. I'd love this like color like in a home. You know, the jade color. It's really, really pretty.
It should be here. Let's see. Yes! This is Mom's diary.
Found it.
Miss Qingmi, I don't think the two of us should be reading your mother's
Yeah,
diary.
it probably should be us, right? 100%.
It should be fine. This is from decades ago. For you travelers, that's more than half a lifespan.
No, I still think I shouldn't read it. You stay here with Miss Qingmi. I'll be waiting
Honestly,
over there.
gentlemen. Honestly, gentlemen. I love that like she's like, hey, the spoilers are she, clearly Shigni's kind of like, hey, like the spoilers have passed, you know? Shigni's like, bro, don't worry about it. Like it's so past. It's so in the past, you know?
Fine. Is it really that big of a deal? I'm sure they're just her notes on life as a pilot.
Mr. Yang has rules for these kind of things. I shouldn't look either. I kind of agree.
Come on, please look at it with me. I need someone to give me some advice.
Okay.
Let's read it together. Maybe her diary holds the key to all of
Sure.
this.
This is what I mean by, like, again, there's nothing wrong with this, by the way. I love the way they give so much information to these quests, but, like, usually, like, a lot of the notes you pick up are this long. And again, I want to make it clear, like, in Genshin, we have, like, read so many notes that are in the main quest, and we will always do it. There's never going to be a problem with this, by the way. It's just reading all of them in a row is usually going to be a problem, because it's, like, you know, there's so many of them. Like, as you guys know, I have no problem reading this type of stuff, like, in the main story as well. Yukongs exchanged a diary. Kai, we're going to be partners. We've known each other for a long time, but when we first knew each other racing starships illegally in the city, we were rivals. Now that we're asked to work together and have each other's back, I'm really not used to it. Naturally, I'm not going to have to look after someone who's lost against me, but an order's an order, eh? I jest. I really look forward to flying with you. I don't know when we would receive a combat mission. I don't know what you think about our situation, but I think we both have considerable skills, and having to sit still and not fight enemies in the front lines is stifling. And it's funny, they felt stifled now as well, not fighting. Those denizens of abundance often raid the border, and occasionally there are reports of them harming innocent planets. Every time I hear the news, I feel an overwhelming sense of anger. But now things are different. After a while, we'll be able to show them what we're made of on our fighter jets. So there was like attacks from the abundance on on the border as well. Honestly, though, I'm pretty satisfied with my life right now. After all, just between you and me, what I really wanted was never the righteous cause of ridding demonic activities. What attracts me is the act of flying itself, so like just a love for flying. Look, flying out into the universe outside the delves is entirely different from racing starskiffs that we're so used to. There is nothing to anchor us in space. There's not even a distinction between up and down. Our fighter jets would be hung in space by the lonesome selves, like ships sailing in the middle of the ocean by then. There is no one else you can rely on but your own skills and your jet. Some may call this feeling lonely, but I prefer to call it freedom. To me, to fly in space is already good enough. And if I can share this sweet freedom with you, then that's even better. Kaie, and again, this idea of sharing freedom with them, it's like this care they had for each other, right? They have this, it's the opposite of feeling lonely, right? Kaie, I don't know what to say to console you. You're always like this no matter what terrible things happen to you. So consoling her, you would act strong, and if you don't need anyone to care for you, and you have terrible time for jokes, there's a sentimentality to this too, but there's like a consoling aspect. But we've been together for over 100 years, and I think we understand each other very well. You once said that if something is unpleasant for me, it would also be uncomfortable for you. A very beautiful sentiment. I actually feel the same way too. Right now, my heart feels like it's being gouged out with a blunt rusted knife. I can't imagine the hurt and pain you're going through. It's funny, I've never shown Gunyan my good side. Every time you leave me alone to go on a mission with him, I feel uncomfortable, especially when I see you two flirting and getting along as if you're inseparable. I can't help but want to glare at him with disdain. So she's feeling like, I want to be, you know, I want to have that like kind of like attention, I guess, as well. I want someone to look, I feel a disdain towards this person for get to be by your side. Or is it the thing, it's like, since I'm going on a mission, since I guess you can't go on a mission anymore, it's like, is it a thing where it's like, I'm going on a mission with him and it feels like I'm alone because I'm not with you? Is that what you're saying? There's a disdain for him because she doesn't have this disdain for him, I guess? Because it's like I guess maybe she wanted her to kind of be like, I want to be on the mission with you, you know? But Young is a good person. No matter how rude I was to him, he was always kind to me. So she was trying to be rude to him, kind of like Metallica being rude, I guess, to like, not in the same way, like not bullying, like, but to Jason New said, you know, like, thinking back on it now, I realize I'm just really bad at appreciating people. He was really amazing. He managed to hold off several dozen enemy ships with only 2 people. This isn't something that can be done with just courage and resolve. It also requires exceptional skills and extraordinary talent. I can't imagine what it's like like in his final moments, how his annoyingly handsome face must have shown such determination and focus. Oh, I get it now. I guess that's why he fell in love with him in the first place, so he died. I can't imagine how proud he must have felt in that moment. He must have no fear of hope and only pride. So you shouldn't be sad, you should be proud of him. We all should. So she fell in love with this guy that was her partner, and he ended up dying. That's actually very, very, very sad. I've been having a lot of negative emotions recently that I can't express to other fighters on the front line. Since you're recuperating in the rear, I'll just dump them on you. So she's been recuperating from something. Although it seems I'm a bit slow to say such words now, it was only recently that I realized that I'm actually in the midst of such a cruel war. Yeah. Space combat is different from ground combat, although both involve life and death in an instant. It is rare to see several limbs and broken bodies in space, which led me to misjudge the brutality of this war. Yeah, that's interesting, because if I don't see anything, how brutal really is the war, you know? It wasn't until recently that the situation on the front lines worsened that the bloody reality gently, indisputably presented itself before me. So she started to realize how horrible this war was. Someone might sit beside you for a meal today. I'd be missing in action tomorrow. A new soldier earning praise and honor today might disappear the next. The captain I fought for with today might not be found tomorrow. Again, the actual cruelties of war, right? From this perspective of maybe a soldier, where it's like a soldier who's realizing how wrong this can really be, being in a war like this, right? Because again, it's like the idea of like, oh, I don't see them as and let me get this 100% straight. Some soldiers that we know this documented, like in our time, are absolutely horrific, disgusting things that have happened. But I think from this perspective, what they're not trying to show is like, they're trying to show someone who like has realized the horrors that have been brought upon by this war from all people that are in this war. And it's hard to sometimes know that from her perspective, because it's like, this is so disgusting, you know, but it was so disgusting, but she didn't even notice it. The ground troops exchanged encouragement with me today might be eliminated next. At this point, I'm wary of building personal connections with anyone here. Perhaps the person would perish, or I might perish, or we might both perish today. There he goes. Well, she was so worried about even at that time someone else dying or someone else getting hurt. I thought I've experienced enough to feel numb. Bad news kept coming in waves every single day. However, I don't regret this at all. Whenever the pain comes, the feeling of being a fighter pilot is the best choice I've ever made in my life will follow. To me, like, it's just like, man, I wouldn't even feel that way. If I knew, like, all these casualties were happening, I couldn't even, like, I guess it's like something you push to the back of your mind as well, where it's like, but I'm a fighter pilot. Like, it's amazing, right? If I weren't a fighter pilot, I can only endure this pain in silence, but I am one. I can fly, I can fight, I can attempt to destroy the source of my pain. Since I'm the fighter pilot, I still have things to do. Reality is that I can change. I think that when she says I can destroy the source of my pain, she's saying that she can get rid of the opposing side. When in reality, like, you know, the source of the pain is the battle itself. And the idea of losing someone within that battle. And even now, this war isn't going on the same way it was at this point. But still, you know, she still has that pain. She didn't destroy the source of her pain. P.S. Don't use the names Guinyuan came up with. They're terrible. Choosing a name is a big decision child has to bear for a lifetime. Use my suggestion instead, something I picked after diligently going through several collections of poetry. Kali, I have a lot to tell you. So many things. After your death, they wanted to honor me with a medal. Truthfully, I find it laughable. Based on common logic, no one awards survivors medals to praise their fortuitous survival. But no, not the Skyfaring Commission. They gave me a medal, called me a hero pilot, and the only reason for it is because of my luck to remain alive. And that's it. That's crazy. It's like the only reason I'm a hero is because I'm alive. If you had been as lucky as me, we could have gotten the medals together. After the medal ceremony, we could have gone to the Aram Alley, have a few drinks, and a laugh at the absurdity of it all. It's a shame luck is not on your side. We don't have that chance anymore. I suddenly feel nostalgic. I remember all the time we had steering our starships across the Loufu sky. We were so carefree. There were no threats of her to our lives, and we didn't have to bear the calling of the hunt. To bear the calling of the hunt, right? The entirety of the sky within Dwells was ours, yours and mine. Above us was the Dwells of flashing dome ceiling, and below us were the bustling lights of the 10,000 homes. And behind us, the realm-keeping commission officers who just wouldn't stop chasing us. That was a time of insouciance? I wish we could stay at that time forever. So this is about, like, not only, like, losing someone and the threat of losing someone in battle, but, like, the realization of how horrible war can be. Slowly realizing all the stuff that you're doing in those moments. And also the idea of, like, a jealousy, I guess, towards, like, you know, this person that was your rock, which is Kai, in this moment too. But also then Kai had a child as well. At some point. There's that too. I can see here the idea of this war made her sad to even, like, build personal connections, to have friends with people, and also she got rewarded for just surviving. You know what I mean? That's because, again, it's not because she was, like, because she was fantastic, but, like, she was more just because she was one of the few that survived. Remember, what, 900,000 people died in this battle.
What is the meaning of this? The Helm Master's daughter bringing Outworlders in to sneak around?
Do you want to fight?
What do you have in your hands? Let me see. Madame Yukong's diary?
I would let this go.
How dare you read Madame Yukong's personal diary? And with her daughter, too. By the Arbiter, you two are in for a...
Mr. Yang Min, please, calm down. Let us explain.
Genie tells Yan the whole story.
I see. Qingni, I know Madame Yukong's position on you becoming a pilot is tough for you to accept, but she has her own concerns.
I understand, Mr. Yang Ming. But now, compared to becoming a fighter pilot, I'm more interested in knowing what my mom went through.
Yeah, and I think this is so true, right? And it was a horrific thing that you went through.
I want to know what happened, how she went from ace pilot to helm master.
I've been here for a long time, Qingmi. If there's something you wish to know, just ask. But don't go rummaging around. That's a bad habit.
I think it's actually not he's not being a terrible person, right? He understands the situation now. He's not he's not terrified of it anymore. And now he's like, look, you should have just come to me, please. But I guess maybe she didn't feel like she could. This one?
No, this isn't something I
Okay,
should
fair
read.
enough.
Don't...
Never mind. Let's talk about something else.
Yes,
So this maybe?
this divine object, if I remember correctly, it's the one Madame Yukong always carries with her. I heard the war that forged this object was only won thanks to the Rainbow Arbiter's blessing. If Madame Yukong still carries objects from that pilot, then perhaps she still longs for the sky.
I wonder.
If Mom still longs for the sky, then why does she no longer
I
fly?
felt like the trauma of like, cause what she said in the diary was that like, her being a pilot was like able to like just suppress these feelings of what I'm doing and what is happening here is so wrong and horrible. But like, I bet like once you stop being a pilot for even a second, you like have to deal with all the loss and the pain and the idea of like lack of connection, the casualties of all of that. Because yeah, I get what you're saying. In space, you're not going to see like, you know, on the ground, like bodies spewed everywhere, right? Especially as a pilot. But like then when you get back from your travels, you have to like sit there and hear like, oh yeah, 900,000 people died in the battle in the sky. And you're like, 900,000 people? And then you're probably glad you didn't make those connections with people.
Perhaps Tsai's passing was too much
Right.
for her. You shouldn't be asking me about this. Ask your mother.
I guess then this here.
Miss Tsai, I remember her. She was an ace gunner. Many people wanted to be her flight
We know that
partner.
there was even, you know, jealousy there, you know?
Her husband, Mr. Guang Yuan, was a pilot. They manned the same skiff and were the envy of many. But when it came to pilots, your mother was the best match for her. They flew together all the time. Even Mr. Guanyan couldn't match their numbers. Well, after he passed away in battle, Tsai rarely teamed up with anyone except your mother. It was tragic when Tsai died soon after. That's the life of a pilot. No one knows which flight
and there
will
you
be their
go.
last.
That's like probably the crux of everything, right? It's like, hey, like she doesn't know when you fly up into the sky, will that be your last time flying in the sky?
Tsai's death was a big blow to Madame Yukong. After the battle, she refused to turn in Tsai's possessions as per regulations. She kept them locked away, occasionally taking them out to admire.
I didn't think you know this many details, Mr. Yaman.
Nonsense. As a Xianzhou native, I've lived long enough to remember more than the Foxian pilots could ever hope to. In the end, all the ace pilots perished. The only thing I can do is to remember them and ensure
Wow.
they are not forgotten too
Very
soon.
beautiful sentiment, right? Very beautiful sentiment.
Where are Miss Tsai's possessions
Oh, we're
stored?
going after this?
Thanks for telling us all this, Mr. Yang Ming.
You're welcome. know
I like this
is
guy. I
important.
like this guy. I think that while, like, you know, telling her mother's secrets isn't the best thing in the world, but I think what the general said actually does make kind of a lot of sense. Is getting a perspective on like why her mother was like this is so important for their relationship, but also at the same time, her mother's past is now affecting her daughter's future. You know what I mean? And I hope that she can talk to her mother directly about this, because obviously, like, this is trauma on a level that you wouldn't even know. You know what I mean? It's not only a loss, it's being in a battle where you slowly realize that people are dying around you. It's being in a war that you slowly realize that things are... and we talked about this. Like, there's no excuse, and you can't excuse the stuff that happened during that war. It from all accounts, it is emotionally damaging, traumatic, war crimes on a level you've never seen before. Just absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And to slowly have that creep into your head as you're flying around the place, and, you know, all of a sudden you go from being a carefree pilot that has, you know, your best pal with you, people that you love, to being a pilot that does not want to make a single connection because you're worried that something might happen to someone because one of those 900,000 people was the person that you adore so much.
I suppose you're going to go through Madame Yukong's office desk next.
We'll go through whatever you... No,
I can understand your position, Qingni. I'll take my leave and pretend I didn't see anything. After all, it's an unwritten rule that subordinates should be absent when their superior's privacy is exposed. Please don't tell your mother that you saw me today.
No, I like, again, like I said, I hope like I'm walking this line very fairly, because I feel like it's one of those things where, like, yes, 100%, this is a traumatic thing for her mother that needs to be handled so delicately. But I think what Yang Ming did here for her was, like, I feel like it came from a place of care for both of them, I think, maybe. But people could see that differently. Don't let us catch you here nosing. I think like having a little bit of levity here is not a bad thing.
You're a cheeky one.
Yeah.
You're lucky I have a sense
It was
of
very
humor.
heavy. It was very heavy. A bit of levity isn't going to hurt.
Hurry. Madame Yukong will be back soon.
There we go. And we have the Yukong Exchange diary as well. So where are we going now? Oh, just right to the desk. We're not even like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so difficult because how do I say it? It's hard for me sometimes to have sympathy for someone who started a war and then experienced a lot of like pain, because it's like, you started this, man. But a lot of people like who are fighting this war clearly don't know the weight of it until very much later. But then it was one of those things that, like, they're so emotionally like pain. There's so much pain that, like, at this point her mother was just trying to like drown out that pain by like trying to destroy it physically, which it doesn't work. That doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? Oh, I'll destroy my enemies and that'll fix my pain. No, it only led to more pain. It only led to never wanting to do something like this again. But you can imagine being up in the air and slowly realizing that this thing that you see to be so cool, so freeing, is becoming this thing that is like causing so much pain around this world, you know? Very, very horrific stuff. Let's investigate.
My mom keeps lots of stuff in her desk. Let's have a look.
This feels very nerve-wracking, doesn't it? The desk has a space to put stuff. There must be a hidden compartment.
That's the selling point of this desk. Super simplistic design with super spacious hidden compartments.
For real? I mean,
Lots
it's a
of
cool
office
desk.
Staff use this desk.
Seems very minimalistic.
There are hidden compartments on the left, right, and under the desktop. Which one should we check first?
I always go left first.
A paper kite, personal letters, and a copy of Otherworldly Delights. So, but what we're looking for is
Sorry,
here.
did not mean to do that.
There are hidden compartments on the left, right, and under the desktop.
We'll try middle?
Which one should we check
Or under,
first?
I should say.
Got it.
There we go. That probably seems more like it would be accurate, right?
This looks similar to Mom's diary, but it looks like it belonged to Miss Tsai.
Sai is such a beautiful name as well. Sai's exchange diary. Yukong, I'm happy to have a chance to fight side by side with you. When the pair assignment was sent out, I was so nervous that I didn't dare to open and check it, fearing that we wouldn't be paired up. They cared about each other so much. It's not like I can't bear to be with you, but I was worried to leave you with the others with your fiery temperament. When you actually get to the battlefield, don't act recklessly like you do now, always charging in with hot-headedness, but before taking action. Think more about the consequences, but it's okay. I don't want to talk about this anymore, or you'll accuse me of nagging like an old crone again. In any case, we need to work together, using our individual strengths to create our own legends in the vast sky. I look forward to fighting the vast skies with you so much that I'm finding it hard to sleep. So just again, they loved being around each other. Loved. Yukong, don't cry. There's no need to be sad. My husband was the one who died, but you're crying more than I am. After so many years of fighting, you're still so emotional. I'm envious. Being a fighter pilot has always been a harrowing decision. Since we chose this path, we have to be mentally prepared. What's important is that not whether we can survive by luck, but whether we can live up to the values of a pilot's life. So what Sai is saying here is like, hey, we signed up for something that is going to be harrowing. You know? This is going to be horrible. Guyong and his partner managed to keep an entire Borstein fleet at bay. They were heroes to me. That is enough. And to be like, it's like, it would make you feel good, right, in your mind to be like, oh, they were heroes. But to me, it's also like a thing of like, I don't know, man. Like the word hero, like, yeah, like, you know, it's a good way to honor someone after they go, but they're still gone. I've heard it said the greatest happiness in my life is being able to choose how you die. From this perspective, to fight for the Xianzhou Alliance, no, for the people of the entire cosmos, to die in the battlefield after a lifetime of military services. Yuan Yuan is probably happy. Of course, you better not have this kind of happiness. Just live another 200 years, behave, and then die of old age for me. That's what's so interesting as well. It's like, hey, like, he's probably happy, but you don't die. You don't do it. So it's like, it's kind of like, it is contradictory in a way where it's like, well, maybe not contradictory, just how people feel. It's like, yeah, like it's, he died a hero. You know, he died a hero, but I still don't want him to die, you know? Yukong is, it's been a long time. I'm still on my maternity leave in the rear. So that's why it wasn't an injury, it was a maternity leave. Everything is fine. With the stalemate happening right now, you must be very busy, but when you have the chance, please take a moment to write an exchange diary entry for me so that I can know you are still safe. And also, I have a mountain of things I want to talk to you about. First, the announcement, I've already decided on a name for a child. Yuan has talked about it before, but if it's a boy, we name him Dragon. If it's a girl, we name her Phoenix. But this man's literary sense is as good as the monkeys in the Everhunt Plains. No matter how much we should prioritize the wishes of my late husband, I can't let his wants ruin my child's life. So after much pondering, I've decided to go with your suggestion and name her Xingni. Holy hell. I got a chill. The colors of dawn. It's Sai's daughter. Xingni is Sai's daughter. And that's probably another part of why she's so overprotective. The moonlit camp opens to a garden of archery, frosty banners to brush the colors of dawn. How rare you made the time and effort to look through the poems and allegories. I thought you only cared about fighter jets. Don't miss me too much. After taking a few months of break and settling Xingni down, I'll be back in action as soon as possible. Xingni is still so young. I need her to fight. I need to leave her to fight a war. How should I say this? I'm such an irresponsible mother. I'm well aware the situation on the front line doesn't look so good. The Boreanson keeps breaking our ranks, and all the media outlets are trying to control the spread of panic and fear, but the Loufu is shrouded with a veil of uneasiness. However, I believe the Xianzhou Alliance will win. I believe that warriors like you and me will repel those denizens of the abundance to whence they came. I look forward to fighting beside you once more. Yukong, we will be heading towards the cruel battlefield tomorrow. So tonight, there are some things I must entrust to you. This may be somewhat ominous, but there's no help for it. Who made it so that we're never entrusted these things to each other before? You lived and I didn't. Please take care of Xingni like you would your own daughter. I know you will. I will entrust you with all my savings. Please use that as a living expense for Xingni, which, oh, Jesus Christ, like, man, this is so crazy. No matter what kind of person Xingni wants to be, please support her fully. Merchant, poet, street performer, anything except Please allow me to make a vow with you. Do not let Xingni become a fighter pilot. It's a vow. It's not only just the pain that they both felt, it's a vow. When we listed, you wrote in the diary, our fighter jets would be hung in space by the loneliness selves, like ships sailing in the middle of the ocean. Some may call this feeling lonely, but I prefer to call it freedom. I really love this segment because I thought the same, but that's enough. Loneliness or freedom, we've already tasted it all. Promise me, don't let that child touch the sky. Don't let that child feel that same loneliness. Oh my God.
So, I was adopted.
This is big info.
And this Miss Sai was my real mother.
That's a lot to, again, it's a lot to like fathom right away, right? Like, so, like it's a lot to like come to terms with. You know what I mean? And it makes even more sense why she would want to like keep her away from the battlefield at that point as well, right?
I suppose I've always had a feeling.
Right.
But now I know the truth. I feel like I'm dreaming.
Yeah, and they wouldn't have brought up her as her having a child if it wasn't for some story point, I suppose. But like, this was already a highly emotional time, and now Xingni's gonna have to come to terms with this idea as well, you know? Which again, like, the love that her mother has for her isn't, like, that Yukong has for her isn't fake. You know, that's not what adoption means, you know what I mean? It's not that at all. And somebody might be like, oh, why do you even have to say that? Because I think sometimes, you know, movies and stories and stuff like that, they do portray it like that, where it's like, so you're not actually my mother, like, so that, but it's like, the care that she has for you is so apparent. It's still so apparent.
Don't let that child touch the sky.
Yeah. Doesn't want you to experience that pain, that loneliness, the death, the suffering, the monstrous things that happened in that battle. And again, monstrous. It was horrific. It was horrible.
Is this why Mom refuses to let me become a fighter pilot?
It seems so. She doesn't want to lose Sai again. I guess this myself.
When I was little, I asked my mom where my dad was.
That's
She
so
said
bad,
I was
man.
grown from the Star Skiff assembly line at Stargazer Navalia.
Oh my god. And then Xingyi now knows that her mother and father died as fighter pilots. And she now knows that Yukong, her mother, had to come to terms with the idea of losing two people. That she's probably the two people that she had the most attachment to in a lot of ways. And then the loneliness of being a pilot became even more lonely after that.
I thought she was just a bad liar. I even thought she meant I'd inherited her talent with star skiffs. I feel a lot closer to Mom after reading this diary.
Yeah.
Even if we're not connected by blood. I understand her a lot more now.
No, and that's such a, like, to come to this perspective after all this, like, I'm so impressed. Because for me, like, I'd probably be like, again, because I want to be clear, there's nothing wrong with being adopted. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. It doesn't make your connection any less than in any way, shape, or form. I hope it doesn't make it seem like that when I'm saying that, like, I would be kind of, like, I think I'd be more sad just knowing that, like, there's so much information. Not only did we have this, like, argument with our mother today, now we're thinking, like, oh my god, I had this argument, and, like, it's not Xingyi's fault at all, by the way, because she has a right to, like, argue her points and has a right to speak up for herself. She has a right to do that 100%, and she should do that. But I think what would be going through my mind right now, and probably what is going through Xingyi's mind right now is like, oh man, like, all this time I didn't know this, but then from Xingyi's perspective, it's like, and I had these two parents that both died as fighter pilots as well. Like, it puts everything into perspective, right?
Can you come with me one more time?
Of course.
I want to have a proper chat with Mom.
Of course, 100%.
Yes.
Emotional support.
Thank you.
There's nothing wrong with that, by the way, asking for, like, emotional support for that as well. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that sometimes, you know, there's that thing. It's like, oh, well, you should be strong enough to do it by yourself. But sometimes just having someone there, it's the equivalent to, not the equivalent, but, like, it's like the way, like, you know, before you're doing, like, a big speech or something that you have to do off the top of your head, it's like having the notes in your pocket. I don't have to use them, but I know they're there. You know, I don't have to Stell might help me a little bit, but I don't have to have Stell talk for me, but just knowing that she's there will help. You know what I mean? Such a heavy topic, man. Such a heavy, heavy topic.
You're all done? Did it go smoothly?
I wouldn't use the word smooth to describe what was happening here, to be honest. You tell well to everything that just happened. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
I see. Let's find Helmmaster Yukong. We'll accompany
Yep.
you. We're here to help, but she and I really shouldn't interject
I agree.
when you're conversing.
I
with
100%
your
agree, but
mother.
that's what I'm saying. It's like just knowing that we're there.
It's okay.
100%.
I understand. Just having you stand next to me is already a great help,
Yeah.
benefactors.
No, I get that 100%. Let's go talk to her. Well, where would she be, I wonder? She's going to be in the space. What a turn for this quest as well. But so many, like, complicated, dark feelings in this quest as well, right? Towards all this as well. It's a lot. It's so much.
Mom?
Qingni, why are Mr. Yang and they here too?
Miss Qingni kindly agreed to show us around Star Skiff Haven. She mentioned she was trying to mend things between you, but was feeling shy about it. We volunteered to come with her.
Yeah. And it's just emotional support.
Thank you. I must apologize for the trouble my daughter has
Oh,
brought
no,
you.
no trouble at all. Like what she went through and found out today, like it's, you know, we're any mild, even though we weren't annoyed, but any mild annoyance we could have had is nothing compared to it.
Mom.
All right, it's getting late. Let's talk once we're home.
No.
Actually, I want to talk to you about something right now.
Because like she knows now, right? And here's the thing, right? I think I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on this whole thing. Like, this is a very secret pain for Yukong. But I also understand what the general was saying as well, where it's like, yeah, I would not want this uncovered probably for myself, at least like, you know, personally. But it's also like, this does affect Xingni. This is about her life as well. You know what I mean? It's very difficult. Very difficult.
I want to become a fighter pilot, no matter what.
We've talked about this many times. No means no.
But...
Seems like Miss Qingni is a little hesitant. Try giving her a little push.
So what are we going to say?
I thought Mr. Yang said we shouldn't interject. What should I say?
What was the new one we got? Was it Kai's one?
Is that Sai's diary?
Sai's?
How did you... I understand now. I'm sorry, Qingni.
Her voice changed so much almost instantly.
I cannot support your dream because I made a promise to someone else.
Isn't that crazy how like her voice changed in this way? Like it's become way softer, almost like hurt. You know what I mean? Vulnerable.
I don't expect to gain your forgiveness. I just hope you can understand my reason.
And this is such like it's actually like making my hair hurt a little bit because it's like the first thing and it is like, you know, it does show she cares about Xingni being like, look, it's something she felt that she did wrong, right? Which again, like this is stuff that like I truly believe that this type of stuff hurts. Two things can be true at the same time. This hurt Yukong so much that she could never express this in the right way to someone. This is something that has traumatized her, has hurt her forever, has made her change her whole life's choices forever. At the same time, Xingni maybe deserved to understand or maybe know about what happened to, you know, or why she's not being allowed to be a pilot, you know what I mean, stuff like this, and why her life is being affected by something like this right now. You know, it's very difficult.
Mom, what are you talking about?
Beautiful.
I'm your daughter.
Beautiful.
Our bond is bigger than forgiveness and reason. I'll listen to anything you have to say.
How that must feel so beautiful to hear. And maybe like, I don't think it'll lift a weight completely off your shoulders, but like hearing this like probably is kind of like, oh my God, you know, because all the things that's racing through your mind when she came up with this diary was probably like, is she going to still love me? Is my daughter going to care? Is my daughter going to even want to talk to me, forgive me, all this stuff? It's like, she loves her mother as well, you know?
Just like you, I once longed for the sky. I know what it feels like to fly through infinite space, to be surrounded by the vast expanse of nothingness, with unimaginable splendors looming in the distance. To float like a single leaf in the fathomless stellar sea. Some called it loneliness, but we called it freedom. Sai was like that too. We were friends since childhood. We flew star skiffs everywhere, causing trouble until the knights caught us and dragged us before General Jingyuan.
That is what the general was talking about, right?
We soon became the most elite fighter pilots of the Skyfaring Commission. It wasn't an easy life. You could even say it was a cruel one.
All the stuff you guys have seen.
You never knew if the friend next to you would make it back alive. Of course, the same could be said of yourself. But those are my best memories. You would strike out into the sky, repelling demons and upholding justice. The blood we shed bore witness to it all. The life of a Foxian is short and fleeting. Surely we should dedicate ourselves to such glorious aims.
And I wonder, does she still feel this way about this as well, you know?
System space all clear today.
Oh my
Great weather for
God.
flying.
This is, first of all, beautiful. A beautiful artwork. Genuinely beautiful artwork. But like, I have a feeling they're going to try and destroy us here right now.
We're engaging the main Borison fleet this time. Don't get too excited.
She looks so much like her freaking daughter. Doesn't she? She looks so much like her daughter.
Huh? Sounds like maternity leave knocked the wind out of your sails. Feeling rusty?
Oh my god, and they look at the like, you can almost tell the care just in her eyes and in Sai's eyes here. Look at this. Like, the love they had for each other.
Oh, shut it. I think you're just excited because you haven't flown with me for so long. Did you miss me?
Of course I missed you.
Just being completely honest about it.
Smaller without you in my cockpit. Say, Sai, really didn't think you'd come back. Do you really like flying star skiffs that much?
You bet. Sure, it's exhausting, dangerous, low paid. Plus, you only get back to the Loufu a few times a year.
Sorry that I'm just stopped in my tracks here for a bit as well. I'm just thinking like how like much she looks like. It's just like, it's one of those things that just like, I know it's like, yeah, of course they're family, but you know what I mean? It's just stopping me in my tracks quite a bit. I just keep looking at her and I'm like, that she looks so much like her.
But given the choice, I'd always pick this.
And she's saying I'd always pick this, like, you know, like, and that was her choice, right?
I guess I already touched the sky.
Mind is mysterious. I've lived for more than 200 years. Forgotten nearly every conversation I've ever had. But I still remember us shooting the breeze that day. It's crystal clear.
Such a, again, like, and you know, how much that one conversation must have meant to her as well. Like, you know, the return of her friend after maternity leave. You know, even asking her, like, is this something you are, like, do you still love being a pilot as well? Like, it's so, you know, such an interesting conversation to have here.
It was the last time I spoke to Sai.
And that's, there it is. Oh my god, I thought it was just maybe this one nice conversation. Literally the last time that you spoke was her saying, like, you know, perhaps I've already touched the sky. Oh god.
Sai, hold on, Sai. Sai, open your eyes.
Jesus.
Sai.
And look at the flames all around, the destruction all around them.
Thank you.
Stop.
Yukong. I've had a good life. But please, don't let Qingmi walk the same path. Don't let her become a fighter.
Freaking hell, dude. Like, and to say this, like, again, when they're surrounded by such flames, such destruction, you know, while she's cradling a dying body in her, like, her arms, to hear this information, which is creating a dying body in her arms. How could you, like, again, emotionally, you probably would shut that idea down forever of anyone ever becoming like this.
She's your daughter.
Oh my god.
You'll be able to tell her yourself, do you hear?
And she's in denial here as well. The music's so impressive here too.
The rescue's almost here. Stay with me. Jingni is waiting.
Oh my god, the pain of this.
She lost Guang Yan. She can't afford to lose you too. Wake up.
And that line as well, like, she can't afford to lose you too. Because you know that's how freaking Yukong feels now. I can't afford to lose you as well. Oh. Jesus, man. Like, to me, this is like... It's one of those situations where, like, I'm not, like, it's not like I'm, like, you know, bursting with tears, or I'm like, you know, quivering lips, because I feel like this is one of those moments where maybe, like, you know, it's different for everyone else. For me, for this moment, I'm just, like, feeling like an empty feeling in my stomach, like. For all this to come crashing down on you, to cradle the person that you care about the most in your arms. And then having to go through life knowing that you lost the two people you cared about, then trying not to make connections with anyone else as a fighter pilot, and then getting rewarded after this. You know, feeling like it's like, I got rewarded just because I'm alive.
When I climbed out of the burning carcass of the star skiff, I looked up into a clear sky, pure and seemingly unadorned by the atmosphere that arced far above us. It was the most beautiful sky I had ever seen. But all I could feel was unbearable
Jesus.
pain. I sunk to the ground and gazed up helplessly.
It's so rough, isn't it? It's so rough.
In my dream, that was the day I died.
That was the day I died.
Mom, this is the first time I've heard you talk about this. But I'm not a little girl anymore. The road of a fighter pilot is a cruel one. I know that now.
Right. But, like, man, like, I'm feeling so empty. I'm feeling so, like that is so horrible. And I know we knew they died, right? But it's just the idea of, like, can you imagine the thought on your mind whenever you think of your daughter becoming a pilot is holding this girl in your arms, thinking about her dead husband as this person you care about, who's made everything feel less lonely in this world, dying in your arms, flames surrounding you, and they're telling you, please don't make her a fighter pilot. You can kind of understand why she would kind of like at least emotionally block that out forever.
But I won't hide from it. I'm not afraid to walk the same road as her.
Oh, God.
If my sacrifice can bring happiness to the citizens of the Xianzhou, then I'm
See,
ready
even as,
for
like,
it.
if I was a mother and, like, my child said, if my sacrifice, I'm like, don't sacrifice yourself, you know?
You are so very similar to Tsai. The more outstanding you became over the years, the more fearful I turned. I've known for a long time you were ready, but I was not.
I guess the thing, it's like Yukong didn't feel ready at all. Holy hell, this is a harrowing tale, isn't it?
You know, the cruelty has never claimed victory. Me, Tsai, your father Guangyan, we were prepared for the worst when we enlisted. Do you know how we won that war? The war that took away Tsai and the lives of hundreds of thousands of fighters.
The Rainbow Arbiter's defined arrow.
In the end, it was the Rainbow Arbiter who solved, who like, was the one who was deciding faction on all this as well. Can you imagine fighting for so long and then the Rainbow Arbiter is what decides everything in the end?
Yes. The mighty blessing of the Rainbow Arbiter annihilated all abominations in a single strike. We had to pay with the blood of hundreds of thousands of soldiers just to halt their advance.
Horrific. Absolutely horrible, horrific.
If crushing our enemies was as easy as breathing for the Rainbow Arbiter, then what purpose did our sacrifices serve?
I see what I mean. It's like this thing. It's like you can try and lie to yourself over and over again about the horrors of war and be like, well, I'm doing this for this, I'm doing this for that. For then something to jump in there at the last moment and solve everything in just one moment. And you're thinking 900,000 people died. My friends died. The people I love died. For what? For what?
Under the might of an eon, the sacrifices of ordinary creatures are but a joke. You're nothing. We mean nothing.
Mom.
But I never should have allowed my fears to compel me to make decisions for another person.
Yeah. But you can understand.
Even if that person is my daughter.
I also don't think her mother's wrong when she talks about the idea of like war, right? She has to let her daughter make her own decisions, but what she's saying is completely true. I wouldn't want my daughter making those sacrifices either. You know what I mean? I'd hate to think, like, my daughter going off to fight in somebody else's war. Where at the end of the day, you could have 900,000 deaths, but still, in the end, that's not what decides the battle.
I brazenly interfered with your choices. I am sorry. That is my failure.
Oh my god, don't say that. Jesus Christ, the stuff that you've all went through.
Mom, you don't need to apologize. Really. You don't need to.
This is such a such a harrowing and hard to like witness in some point story. It really is.
I'll take you to fill in the paperwork.
Wow.
You'll start as ground crew, just like Tsai and I did. I believe that one day you'll make an outstanding fighter pilot.
Huh? Really?
Oh, the joy in her voice.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my god, like she's in tears.
I was afraid of you following in my footsteps, and more afraid of you taking after Tsai. But if this is your choice, then I'm willing to support you, even if you live to regret it.
What if... I cannot believe the feeling that I have right now. Like, I can't help but, like am I wrong for this? I can't help but think about everything that's happened, and now I look at her daughter, I think, like, I'd probably feel the same. I probably wouldn't want you doing any of this stuff, right? But obviously you have to let your children make their own decisions.
Mom, I have one last request.
Tell me.
I want to
Whoa.
fly with you at least once.
Oh, man. Is she ready for that? Oh, her eyes, look at her. Right.
I'm afraid I can't. I won't be flying anymore.
She's staying kind of like a wall with that as well.
But why?
Everything happened.
Because
Oh,
I already touched the sky.
Oh, what Sai said. Holy frickin' hell, man. That was frickin' harrowing. Yukongs may visit the Express. You might come across Yukong when you return to the Express. Warned you. That, like... Absolutely frickin'...
You need to keep on living.
I'm in shock. Ginny stands beside her mother and quietly gazes at the place that fills her with so much passion. Yukong quietly gazes at the place that once filled her mother with so much passion and cost her everything. Let's not disturb them. I feel like that's the important thing, isn't it? Let's not disturb them. Holy hell, man. I don't know if we'll have time for a companion quest. We'll see if we'll do that. We could. We definitely could, I'd say. I'm just like so destroyed, like, you know, like I feel so empty, and like while it was such a beautiful moment at the end between these two, I'm so happy that they have this connection with each other as well. Like that's she looks so like Sai, right? And she's so much taller than her brother too. That's like, for some reason, that's adorable as well. This was a story about the harrowing situations that the war, and again, they don't shy away from this in this game. They have very realistic politics, very realistic portrayals of how like what religion works like for some people. They do that like in a very, very realistic way. They don't shy away from that whatsoever. And in this case, like, I do appreciate the fact that they talked about like how
Sister?
the wars in this
Is
game
Sister calling me?
have had so much casualties and so many, but we saw that with Dan Shu as well.
Maybe
What Dan Shu experienced as well. Because that when the Rainbow Arbiter showed up and used his arrow in that moment, what happened is that it destroyed, yes, it ended the war. But what else did it do? It also caused more casualties as well. We know this. We know this for a fact.
Are today's records different from yesterday's?
But and we learn now that from the reason that, and again, we have to look at this from all these perspectives.
Probably not.
I understand from Shinji's perspective that like she wants to become a pilot. That's what she loves. That's her passion. And you have to give your children like support as well. But like more and more as the quest went on, maybe I'm just like wrong for this as well. But like I really felt like I was like, I understand where like Yukong's coming from with this.
Temporary.
The idea of like,
momentary.
and I'm glad Yukong said at the end,
blink of an eye.
900,000 people died. Everyone I love died. I held, you know, the woman who I cared about more in my life than anyone else in my arms after her husband died. As I was surrounded by flames, the casualties of war, the horrible things that we had done,
Sister?
the horrible things that had happened in this war.
Is Sister calling me?
And in the end, it was decided by a god, by an Eon.
Maybe not.
Like, to me, that's like I would totally understand from her perspective why she wouldn't want her daughter getting into that stuff. You know what I mean? Like 100%. And like, I'd be the same. I'm just saying, I would be the same. I would not want my child fighting a war for somebody else that could be decided in 2 seconds by like gods who are laughing at us, who treat us like ants. You know what I mean? Because we know they treat the people in this world like ants. We know that. They said that in the databank. Most Aeons look upon the people and go like, Jesus, look at these guys all dying and fighting for us. This is hilarious, you know? 900,000 people, like, and again, I keep saying 900,000 as if like that number is what like makes or break everything. If it was 20 people, if it was 40 people shouldn't be dying for somebody else's war, and people should be dying in a war that can be decided by the gods.
Probably not.
You know what I mean? Because people who die in these wars are not, you know, rich merchants. They're not people who like have like a, you know, in some cases they don't have like a massive. Now the general did, but you know what I mean. They don't have like this godlike powers. They're people like you or me. And I can understand why. Like again, as I was saying, I think that she you know, in the end you have to let your daughter make her own decisions. And she did that in the end. It was actually a very beautiful thing she did. But I think also like it's very perfect to say as well. Like, and it's very pertinent to say as well. I personally understand where Yukong's coming from with this. You know, and you can't let, you know, the horrors of the past like always like, you know, change someone else's future, right? But I think that like while I think she did the right thing in the end by saying, I will help you out if this is something you want to do, right? While also definitely not wanting her to do it, you know? I think it's something she definitely doesn't want her to do. And that's understandable. That's so understandable. So she really, I think Yukong showed a lot of like, a great like perspective in the end. Like I think she showed a great, had a great showing at all in the end there. I appreciated her response in the end. But then I also, like, as the quest went on, I more and more understood. It's like, yeah, of course. And already, like, at the end of the day, it's like, obviously the battle that's happening now and the stuff that's happening now isn't the same as what happened before, but at any point there could be a battle. You don't know. And it wasn't only a promise that was made to her by the person that she loved, but it's also in her head. It's like, man, I held this dying woman in my arms as she asked me not to let my daughter do this, you know? Even if she taught herself at some points, which she probably did, I should probably let her do this. It's all going to come back to that day, the last conversation she had with Sai. It's all going to come back to the day when the flames were surrounding her as she held her dying friend in her arms. It's all going to come back to her that day. And I think like that's the crux of this mission. It's a mother who took in this child, made a promise to her birth mother, and had seen the horrors of war and had slowly realized the horrific things that were happening around her, all the stuff that they were doing, all the people that were dying around her, the loneliness that was happening around her, And in the end, it was decided by an Aeon. So she probably felt like all the efforts that we did, all this thing was like, oh, I'm a hero. No, I'm a hero because I survived. I got this medal because I survived. I didn't get a medal because like of all the... Again, she probably did do amazing things. But like, it's like, yeah, I survived this. My friends would be getting... my friend and her husband would be getting medals too if they survived. You know? What good is a medal though, like when everyone, like when 900,000 people died? 900,000 people. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but like for me personally, like I think like I can understand Yukong's perspective so much, just because, again, it's like 900,000 people died in this battle. I do not want anything like that for my daughter, which it is her daughter now, by the way. That's her daughter. Such a hard, like when I saw that image of like her holding her friend in her arms, like my stomach, like, you know when you you feel almost like hungry in a way, like I felt like empty, you know. It's past now, but like I felt so empty. I was like what the hell, like that's like such a horrific thing to witness or to go through. Like imagine, like look, we're looking from this perspective, imagine having to go through that stuff as well.
Spent with sister today was temporary.
Yeah, just absolutely like a crazy quest. And again, I want to make sure I acknowledge that. I understand you have to let your children do what they want to do, but I hope that it comes across what I'm saying is that like I also like empathize so much with how Yukong was feeling in this way, you know? And like why she would feel this way. Because Jesus Christ. If I was in a battle that killed 900,000 people, I would never want my children to ever even go near that ever again. Or even if I heard about a battle of 900,000 people, I wouldn't want my children ever becoming and here's the thing, I'd be the same now, you know? Even now in current times, I would not my children. I would beg my child not to go to war. Beg. Do not do this. You know what I mean? Beg, and beg. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't feel ashamed to say that. I wouldn't feel ashamed to say like, obviously I love you, I care about you, but Jesus Christ, do not do this. I do not want you to do this. You know what I mean? There's no way and I think it's such a realistic way they did this, right? Like, the conversations between the mother and daughter, where they have a great relationship, but whenever this topic is brought up, it becomes like a sore point, and we understand why it's a sore point. I also love the way they had other characters around here, like understanding that definitely there was some pain from Yukong, but no one knows, like, I guess, like, people have the full picture of why there could be pain for Yukong as well, but they didn't obviously say it to her daughter until she made the initiative to be like, I want to find out about this. I want to find out about this. And I think there's a conversation to be had about keeping like people's secrets private and stuff, I guess. But I think from the general's perspective and Wang Ming's perspective, I think what happened there was them being like, we care about her so much, and we also care about you. And this is something that is now affecting you, so we want to tell you about it. Even though, like, of course, like, it is like such a harrowing thing and it's someone else's trauma, you know? Really incredible stuff. Once again with this quest, guys. I can see if we can do something else here as well after this too. There was a quest that the one that was given to us from this one. We could try this and see if this is something we can do, right? Let's travel here. I'm trying to...
Hiding out at the Divination Commission. That's a bold decision.
Yep. And sorry if like my thoughts on that whole thing like are a bit like come from like a very like we're not analyzing, you know, lore here. You know, there was lore of like the battle and like what people to go through and what fighter pilots to go through. But to me, like the crux of the whole mission there is like the absolutely like emotional trauma that like that war brings and the horror. We saw that with Don Shu as well. We saw that. Like it is not something that's... I love that Honkai Star Rail never portray war as something that is like glorious and pretty. You know what I mean? It's never something that's like, oh my god, how beautiful, like, oh, you're a beautiful hero, you know what I mean? And again, some people might feel that way, right? But they never, and I adore that they don't do that. I adore that they don't, like,
I should be the judge.
They will have characters say stuff like that, like, no, we're heroes and stuff like this, right? But I think the reason why they do that is because that's how some people feel. It's realistic in a way. It's like, I'm a hero for doing this, I'm a hero for doing this, you know? And sometimes that helps people sleep at night, right? It's like, oh, well, like, if I say I'm a hero and I feel like I'm a hero, then at least then, like, I can go to sleep at night knowing that, like, all the horrors that happened during war, I was able to, like, you know, I'm able to sleep. But then again, we clearly know that the majority of people who have, like, witnessed stuff in that war or have been in preview, or have seen friends go to the war. For example, Don Shu with Yufei, and here we have people that are actually in war as well that experience that trauma. Also, I think it's perfectly realistic the way that they portrayed people being like, oh yes, we're in this war, we're fighting for justice, for peace, we're upholding this, right? We're doing this, Oh, people are dying around us. Oh, look at all these people. 900,000 people have died. Wait, so all these people have died, and then in the end, you could have ended this at any time? What did we die for? I got this medal? What does this mean? Like, it was a really strong progression of a... oh, there's Kafka. Are you saying it is Kafka? But yeah, it was a really strong... we can do... optional. So I don't think we're gonna report Kafka, but we can ask him. Maybe, do we have to go to the... Yeah, let's go and ask their opinion on the Astral Express. Isn't it? I say it's Astral Express, right? Am I right in saying that?
Long time no see. How have you been?
We just did a whole mission. I heard Special Ground Spring Ground Clean time to start soon.
Indeed. It's about that time. I guess that explains why Pom Pom is in such a hurry.
Look at the Xianzhou outside. Wait, so we can't...
Long time no see.
Wait, how do we ask their opinion on this?
Indeed.
Is it through text, maybe? Oh, we have a lot of messages here as well. We'll do this next time as well with the main quest as well. Like, how do we do that? How do we ask their opinion?
Oh, it's been a while. Did Pom Pom call you back?
We heard this before, but how do we ask their opinion? Or is there a way to see those objectives? Hold on a second here. Like, because I honestly, guys, I can't see where the objective is. Because I asked... I'm probably going to miss something here now. But it seems like I can't ask their opinion right now. Would you say that's correct? Again, if I missed it, I apologize. I don't know how we're going to get to... I don't want to report Kafka around because I definitely want to see what's happening here. But, I don't know what else we can do here unless it's like a situation where... they're like around here somewhere? Because usually you would have a marker here, right? Unless they're like... Look, we'll go here. We'll go here. I'm thinking that the reason why we can't talk to anyone right now is probably just because, like, I did by accident start the main mission, or the first few minutes of it, or the first, like, literally the first 2 minutes of it. I think so, anyway. So yeah, let's just go talk to Kafka, and we'll see what's happening here. I guess I could, like, look it up later or something like that, maybe if, or if anyone wants to relay what they said, that'd be fantastic too. And we can do it that way. Yeah, apologies about that, guys. That's probably a mistake on my part that's happening there. And how would you report Kafka? Like, how would you even do that? Because right now, the general, like, would be like... I know we just saw the general at the start of the mission. Unless we can go and talk to the general somehow. Whereabouts is that? Yeah. Okay. Let's just go talk to Kafka.
She should be around.
Oh my god. I can't believe we're so close to her.
I knew you would come.
Okay. Thank you. Oh wait, she scares me. She scares me so much. Oh, there's this blade just sitting there. Oh my god. Cutie when he's asleep, right? People are gonna say, Calvi's a cutie every time. Well, yes, but just adorable right now, you know? And every time I see Blade being adorable, you know?
If we had Elio's eyes, the world would not appear as it does to you and I. There are myriad possibilities overlapping one another, representing the consequences of different choices, and in every passing moment, an infinite number of choices converge
Her
on
voice.
the same point and become the present, and then become the past.
It's a lot to take in though, right? Like this Elio stuff does like kind of scare me a little bit, you know?
So, was this your choice? To respond to my request for help?
Or did you say it's like fate? It sounded like you needed some. Honestly, like can I like even if like it's a dangerous thing to do, right? I still want to like do it because it's going to get us more information, right?
I do. Blade is in a prickly situation. On the Xianzhou, you're the only one I can turn to.
Okay. She was talking about the Mara struck stuff, right?
Being stricken with Mara is the inescapable destiny of the long-life species. It is a madness triggered by the accumulation of emotions and memories. Blade doesn't remember much, but the Mara still haunts him in some form.
So it still affects him even with that.
After we arrived on the Xianzhou, the Mara in him flared up so violently that even my spirit whisper couldn't suppress it. He's not fit for interstellar travel in this state.
How do you want me to help with this, by the way? And like he's just like sitting here like so silent. Is he meditating?
My plan is to use Spirit Whisper to temporarily seal the Mara by reducing his potency. I need to focus all my concentration, so I'll be vulnerable for some time. I need you to protect me while I suppress Blade.
Whatever you need. Let's go for it. I'm so up for it.
I know when danger will come and what form it will take. Don't worry. Together we can do this. No harm will come to you.
Isn't it so? I like she's one of the most imposing characters in this game, right? Or the most imposing character in this game. I think she's even more imposing than Eons themselves. You know what I mean? That even her saying no harm will come to you actually does give you like a general feeling of like, you know, safety in a way where it's like, yeah, like if she says it, it's probably like, yeah, okay.
Now, there are wandering monsters nearby. They'll spell trouble if we let them hang around. Go take care of them. Your victory is certain.
Or maybe she's just seen these paths, right? That we are going to win these battles. You know? A letter from a strange woman. A letter from an amazing woman. Please don't hurt me. Kafka turned a blind eye to you. She mutters some words in her mouth. And these powerful words are known as Spirit Whisper. So she's doing this right now, yeah. Please, yeah. You're amazing. Never hurt me, okay? Thank you. You are fantastic. I'm scared of Kafka, but like in a way that like makes me still like want to run, you know, towards her. It's like being afraid of like, as we were saying, afraid of stuff like, you know, it's like being afraid of like heights, or it's like being afraid of, yeah, it's like being afraid of heights.
Lend me your strength.
We could have done an extra thing here, so it's okay. It's like being afraid of heights, but still wanting to play like a Spider-Man game because you want to like, you know, it's like I'm so interested in this, but I'm still terrified, you know? I think that's such a good way of putting it for me.
Going anywhere.
It's like, boy, I'm terrified, but I don't want to leave, you know?
This is serious.
I guess we can go for like an ultra move here, right?
Take this.
Sushang is so good that like sometimes Locha doesn't even get, like on these smaller enemies, sometimes Locha doesn't even get to like do anything. You know what I mean? Now, this is a Mara struck enemy, so Locha will get to do something, you know?
Lend me your strength. Let me through.
Still in denial? Recount.
Nice. Very quickly. Yeah.
The Ten Lords' favor grants victory.
Is that okay? Did I do good? Please say I did good. I want to be a Stellar Hunter sometime, you know?
That felt like a time. It's good to open my eyes and see you back here.
I eliminated all the monsters?
Inevitably so.
Inevitably. You see, even in these like small conversations here, like, you know, it seems like she's like toying with air. She's toying every word. She's toying with the air with her words almost, you know.
I've weakened Blade's senses to the outside world so that he's only able to hear my voice and feel my touch. He's oblivious to everything else. I'm going to transfer his consciousness away from the Xianzhou and cleanse his memories of Jingyuan, Jingliu, Insing, and your friend, Don Hong. Again, this process mustn't be interrupted, but I can answer questions before I begin.
So is cleansing of memories just erasing them completely, or is it like just like maybe like erasing the bad memories, I guess?
Yes, as compensation for helping me. You don't have any questions? I put you into a deep sleep and then reawakened you. Abandoned you at the space station, then lured you to the Xianzhou.
Very straightforward way of saying this.
I owe you an explanation or two.
But
don't you want to know?
Are you like even the way she says that? Don't you want to know? Now that you mention it, I kind of would want to ask some questions.
Don't rush. We still have time. Think about it first and ask when you're ready. One rule, though. Please don't ask anything
Oh my
boring.
God, Kafka.
Let's play truth and lies.
No, we're not playing. We're playing two truths, one lies. Are you serious?
It's a game I play with Silverwolf all the time. Kinda psychological. Both sides ask each other 2 questions, then give one true answer and one false answer each.
This is definitely a Kafka thing to do, right? You know? Definitely a Kafka thing to do.
So, one of my answers will be true, the other will be false. As for which is which, that's up to the asker to make the call.
I don't know if I'll be able to do this. I genuinely, dude, I doubt my abilities to do this.
We don't have much time. Let's do 2 rounds to start. You ask me 2 questions, and you'll also have to answer 2 of mine.
Sure.
But remember, 1 truth, 1 lie.
I'm why this even scare me. What if all my answers are true? How do you know you won't cheat?
I give you my word. I will abide by the rule of 1 truth, 1 lie. I'll go first to give you a demo.
Oh my God, and this like...
The first question is quite trivial. You can tell the truth or tell a lie. It's the second question where the game gets interesting.
Right, and I love that they're doing this kind of like, such a close-up here. It's almost like, I don't know, like when you're talking to someone like in Fire Emblem, you know, at the tea table.
My first question is, what do you think about me?
Sure.
Huh? What do I think about Kafka?
That's like such a personal question.
How should I answer? If I tell the truth, I have to lie the next time, and vice versa. Or I could just cheat. Is that really an option?
I think you should probably be able to tell when we're cheating, right? Tell the truth. I want to know how Stell feels about Kafka, right?
Better to tell it like it is.
Because I personally am like impressed. Oh, I think you're pretty good. I don't care about you. I dislike you. I hate you. Interesting. I would say I'm terrified, right? I don't dislike or hate Kafka. I really don't. Like I don't have that, and I also don't care. So I think you're pretty good might be a good answer, right? Because like for me, like I don't. Like personally, I like her. You know what I mean? I actually think the Stellaron Hunters are actually pretty sick. You know what I mean? So whatever, let's go with it. Let's go. You know, my answer would be I am absolutely terrified of you. I think you have such a strong presence, but also I think that what you're doing is actually like kind of like cool in a way and very intriguing, you know?
And there you have it. It's a pretty simple game, don't you think?
Yeah, it's fun actually. It's actually kind of fun.
You're hiding your feelings well.
Oh my God. You want to tell with the voice? The voice actor's perfect.
I'm afraid we'll have to put our game of truth and lies on pause.
Wait, I don't get to ask you?
The Cloud Knights are here. I need you to help me get rid of them.
Sure. Do you want me to kill them?
Don't worry. I'll take care of any repercussions.
Okay, I'll kill him. I'll kill him for you,
This
Kafka.
conflict is inevitable. It's destiny.
Imagine we like actually committed like, and again, it's destiny again, by the way. Imagine we just like literally committed a murder, and then Jinyuan's like, why did you do this, Stel? Please, talk to her for 2 seconds. Understand the pressure I was under. She literally told you didn't have to kill anyone. Please, just talk to her. You stop. You stop. We received an order to capture the wanted criminal. Put down your weapons and come with us. Me? I don't think you understand who I am. How should I respond? Threaten the clouded, lie to the clouded, report Kafka, talk to the fist. I'm thinking threaten just because I think it's probably going to end up in a battle anyway. Do you guys feel the vibe with this ending up in a battle? Try to intimidate him. I'm Genuine's esteemed guest, true? Who do you think you are yelling like this? Oh my god, to Marshall, I divider foo. No, I am a variable. The law is the law. Even if we must offend the general. Everyone take them down. No. It's not the law. Screw the law. Yeah, I kind of figured it was going to probably end up in a battle in some way. Okay, listen, guys. Kafka told me to kill you. It's like, we overheard her. She said you didn't have to kill us. No, you heard a different conversation. Elio had a different path for you guys. In the other version, you didn't hear it. No, we literally heard her. She said you don't have to kill us. You're hearing the abridged version. You know, you're hearing the adapted version that wasn't very good. No one likes that version.
Let me through.
But she literally said that
Eternal
it's just whatever you do is going to be, your destiny anyway. Yeah, but you got to understand, guys, right? Okay, you got to read between the lines with Kafka. She sometimes doesn't say what she means. She just sometimes just says stuff. That's our Kaffy. You know what I mean? I come back with blood on me. Kafka, it's over. I've killed him. Well done. Or she's gonna be like, oh. I need to talk to Elio really quickly. They're dead, Kafka. They're dead.
See,
They're
the
gone.
future always seems like infinite possibilities, but what is destined to happen will always happen. This conflict is inevitable because the other possibilities don't exist.
Wow, so she's saying that that was supposed to happen. In some way.
I need to use the Spirit Whisper on Blade again, but let's play another round.
I'm so excited for this. This is so fun.
Have you thought of your question?
Oh.
Come to me when you're ready. I can wait.
Well, I can't. Believe it or not, I cannot. Wait.
The game continues. Your turn.
I think they know what presence she has, and having her stare right into the camera is such a good choice.
So I get 2 questions, only one of which Kafka will answer truthfully, but I won't know which answer is which. What should I ask?
Ask about Blade, ask about Kafka. I'm trying to here's the thing, all these questions would be so interesting, right? So I wonder if I should just do this. Okay, I'm just gonna go random and pick a question because all of these would be interesting, guys. I'm genuinely mean it. I think asking about myself would probably be, maybe asking about myself might be the most interesting. But I want to learn more about Kafka as well. But I feel like she's gonna be mysterious with that stuff anyway. So maybe I don't know, but asking about Blade as well. And we're gonna get multiple questions as well, right? Because I'd love to learn about Kafka's motives as well, and learn. I know her motives, but I'd love to learn more about how she feels about this, but I guess we'll go with ourselves for now.
When I came to on the space station, I remember seeing Kafka. But everything before that is a blur. Shouldn't I ask about my past?
How am I able to host a Stellaron? What is my connection to you? Who am I?
You are an artificial body created for the purpose of hosting a Stellaron.
Wait.
From the moment of your birth, it was your destiny to receive
Wait
a
a
Stellaron
second.
at Herta Space Station. Before that task was complete, I was responsible for protecting you, as well as teaching you general knowledge, common sense, and combat skills.
The first part, I think is true though, right? I'm not sure if like the others, like if you heard the other stuff before, but the first part is definitely true, because if this is the true one, because we were like initiated and booted up, right? That would mean that Kafka was taking care of us in some way, I guess, or teaching us. Like almost like a, I don't know, a motherly figure?
You don't remember is that I wiped your memory before the operation at her to space
Well, that would make
station.
sense, I guess.
No matter what she
Yes.
says, she looks like she's got
100%.
I can't tell what's true and what isn't.
That's what I'm saying. Like she said it with such like confidence.
I see the look on your face. Don't bother asking. I can't tell you if an answer is true or not.
Look, she's having so much fun.
Make your best guess and choose your next question based on my answer. That's the beauty of the game.
Oh my god.
I hope your next question proves interesting.
She's looking at this, and like right into my soul she's staring. She's having so much fun with this.
The rules of this game are like reality. We all think we have infinite possibilities, but when you really analyze it, you could count them on your fingers. Every question and answer is constrained by previous choices. The future is like a labyrinth. Every divergence is merely an inducement. There is only one real path.
What is that supposed to mean? So wait, so is what like? Are you sure you don't follow the A out of the hill? I actually might ask this question, but like I think what she's what she's saying is it seems like you have a lot of paths in life, but like in a labyrinth, it seems like there's so many different ways to go, but a lot of places would just be a dead end. There is only one space for you to go, even though there's many possibilities of where things can end up. You will always end up in like one place that is the real path.
Do I sound that negative? No. We believe that existence has meaning, but that meaning is bestowed by ourselves.
Okay.
Not by choices.
Giving meaning to life yourself, I guess.
If you don't believe me, try it for yourself. Soon we will face another battle. Can you change that possibility?
What do you mean? Just another person coming here to fight us? Okay, Kafka, I'm gonna kill them. Okay? You don't have to. I'm gonna kill them.
Yeah.
There wasn't we should have gone with the weakness. Yeah, it's so interesting because again, like Kafka's so good at like making us feel so uncomfortable. Like, but I think that what she was saying there was that it was like the idea that like in life it seems like you have like a bunch of different options, but you're always going to end up in the place that you were supposed to be, I guess, the path that you were supposed to end up in. Like you can obviously like seeing the different paths, you could obviously alter some stuff, because I think that's what they were trying to do here with the
I will remember your kindness.
I feel like that's what they were trying to, from my perspective, what they're trying to do. No, it is what they were trying to do, right? It is what they were trying to make sure that we made friends with the Xianzhou. So I feel like that was like in a way changing a path, right?
Lend me your
or at least like influencing a path to get to one of those paths, right? But wherever you end up is the path you're supposed to go on. And we don't know as well like what the true answer is in this situation as well when it comes to like the one lies one truth situation, but like I said, like we know that we were like booted up and initiated, right? We know that was a thing that happened. So I'm wondering if it is a case where like no, because I was gonna say if one part is true, one part's not. No, that we had to like
This
love the
battle is unavoidable.
we had to like one of them has to be true, right? One of them has to be true. But the first part is like I feel like it's true, right?
Is timely.
Eternal sleep. The dead return.
I'm sure we can look up the other answers as well. Anyway, we can definitely do that. Like, I think this is such an impressive companion quest. It's done in like one singular space with this like interesting two truths, not truth, like one truth, one lie question here and stuff that actually fits Kafka's like very mysterious and cunning and playful personality so well.
Oh.
Oh? What do you mean, oh? Again, staring into our soul.
Well, you're doing a great job.
Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
The future is still clear. The real test lies ahead. The young swordmaster of the Cloud Knights. He will not be an easy
Wait, what?
foe.
Yang Xing?
Until then, let's continue our game. It's my turn again.
She's so excited to do this.
Second question. Do you want to see me again?
So wait, so we have to lie with this one.
What kind of question is that? Will we see each other again? She'd know the answer to that.
She's playing with us. She's 100% playing with us.
As for whether I want to, seems obvious.
Yes, I would want to see her again. You know? But this is our lie, right? So we have to lie. What? Wait. This is our lie, though, right? So we have to say I don't want to see her again. Right?
No, I don't want to deal with this lady.
But that's our
again.
lie.
So, my answer is...
No, I got this wrong. Wait, hold on a second. Ah, yes.
Oh.
Kafka. We didn't have any interaction before this.
Great job. The future is still clear. The real test lies ahead. The young
Crazy you can't skip this,
Swordmaster
right?
Of the Cloud Knights. Until then,
Isn't it?
Let's continue our game.
It's kind of crazy you can't
It's
skip
my turn
dialogue
again?
because we already saw this before. It's pretty crazy.
Second question. Do you want to see me again?
Right? I don't know why you can't
What kind of question
skip
is
dialogue.
that? Will we see each other again? As for whether I want to, seems obvious to me. I guess I do want to see her again.
Of course.
So, my answer is...
Obey the rules of the game. I don't want to see you again. Ignore the rules of the game. I want to see you again. So should we obey the rules of the game? Yeah. Oh my god, her smile, look at that!
Okay, I'm done asking. What a surprise. I can't see through you.
Oh, for real? Are you satisfied with my answers?
Partly. For me, the truth, or lack thereof, is not what matters in this game. Well, it's your turn to ask a question. Come see me when you're ready.
Ready. Always ready. You kidding me? Always ready. Blade, I am ready. I can't get over this.
This is your last question.
This framing.
Surprise me.
I don't know if Kafka was telling the truth in the previous question, but one thing's certain. For this question, she'll have to answer according to the rules. Should I venture into a whole new topic?
Ask about... Oh, that's interesting, right?
Kafka wants me to surprise her. Let's try this on for size.
Let's see what it is. 1 + 1 = 2. Oh.
Wrong.
What?
Very clever. But was it worth sacrificing a question to determine whether the last answer was true or false? Tough to say.
I thought that was so cool. That's so sick. Wait, so if she said that was wrong, what this more like? I'm kind of glad we did this because it's very like, you know, I don't know. I think Kafka would appreciate the way we did this in a way, right? And we can look up the other answers anyway. Oh, here he is. I love that. And Kafka's for sure impressed a little bit, right?
Stellaron hunters. The general was merciful enough to let you live.
Oh, there you go.
But you haven't shown the slightest bit of
So
gratitude.
Yangsheng, even from that moment, it's like, I'm going after her again.
Why are
Oh,
you
look,
here?
he's so adorable. Please leave.
Because she was struck by my spirit whisper.
Yeah, the old spirit whisper, you know what I mean? What?
My powers of suggestion are capable of convincing people to accept my orders. All without a second
She's
thought.
protecting us in her own way, right?
Defeat this little boy and your mission is over.
I love her just like hands on our hips. Let's go.
You witch!
Oh, he's so adorable. I don't want to hurt him. I can't believe we're getting a boss fight with Yangsheng here. That's so interesting to me.
I shall be the judge.
Take this!
Let's hope we can do enough damage with this as well. Actually, a good bit of damage, yeah?
Dodge this! Come get me!
Oh god. And the only thing we have is ourselves in terms of like AoE attacks is Lucha, I should say.
Lend me your strength.
Nice shot as
You
well.
chose the wrong enemy.
The music here is fantastic.
Receive divinity.
I will
Yeah, let's try this.
remember your kind.
And we can break down. Oh no, he has no weaknesses right now.
You're all in on it.
I love that. I do love Yang. I said we have to talk about Yang Qing's determination as well. I actually do love it as well. I do love his determination here.
Crush them. You're not going anywhere.
Getting that weakness back up is not a weakness available again. Is not a bad idea for me. I think. See right there.
I'll see you off.
Again, such a cool enemy, right? And like again, I don't mean to just be like, oh, he's adorable, you know, like because again, he's a fighter as well. He's learning as well. He could probably tear a lot of us apart as well. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And he's a fantastic fighter. He learned some moves from Jing Lui as well. Oh, the secondary hit there got him. Kafka used Spear Whisper on Yang Qing and told him to leave. Wait, so she actually just got him to leave like that?
If it weren't for you, that kid would have had me and Blade in the shackling prison in no time.
Wait, do you think so? Are you serious about that?
Of course, Sam and Silverwolf
Interesting.
would have broken us out, but Bladey would have been gravely injured, and our relationship with the Xianzhou would have been damaged beyond
So I think it's because Blade is not in the right state right now, and Yang Qing's not weak. You know, he's not weak. He's still a tough kid. He held his own against like, you know, Dan Hong and Blade in the same fight. You know.
If possible, I'd like to avoid that kind of future at all costs.
Sure.
Can I leave now?
Oh my God! Look at him.
Yes, the Mara in you is temporarily suppressed. So long as you avoid overstimulation and familiar faces, you shouldn't have a problem.
So he has to avoid anything that will remind him of his darker memories.
Wait, you're not leaving?
You're not leaving?
I am sorry, Kafka. There is a person to whom I am greatly indebted.
Really? What?
I must see them.
Really?
Then it's in your hands. Elio didn't say anything about what happens next.
That's interesting. So she's like, hey, I don't even know what's gonna happen.
Thank you for coming to my aid. I appreciate it.
Wow.
Our paths will cross again.
It's funny. I appreciate it. It sounded very, very like truthful, and then our paths will cross again. It was very Kafka. You okay?
I remember you.
Oh my God, even his voice is so like it gets in your head. Huh?
You once followed Kafka, didn't you? There was a time when she was on a mission. You were next to her. I remember.
So obviously before our memories were erased?
I've yet to see anyone follow her for as long as you did.
What?
And live to tell the tale.
What exactly are you getting at? Wait, no. Wait, no, hold on. I thought you meant followed. Wait, no, you were next to her though. Does he mean like the time when we followed her all around the place and tried to? Remember with earlier on in the Trailblazing mission, or did we actually like follow her? Like as a follower.
Every Stellaron hunter has a deal with Elio. I do not know the nature of those deals, but I do know that Kafka and I agreed to take orders from Elio. She must have sought something extraordinary. Everything she does comes at a great cost.
Everything.
She will have done many things to keep you alive until now.
Whoa.
Young one.
Oh my God, that was actually a much shorter mission. We can actually probably put it together in the one video. So talking about like what we just like learned here, I guess, as well about like we know it's a truth now, and I will look up the other ones as well if I can. I'll maybe like ask someone if they can like send me the other ones or something like that. But we already knew that we were like booted up, but I'm not sure if we knew the other stuff. Please let me know. You can correct me. It's been so long. I've been playing for 3 months, so like I might have like forgotten some other stuff. But it seems that like Kafka was like a very like parental figure in our lives, right? Like in this case, like our almost like a mother to us. The idea of like, you know, being able to like look after us, you know, teach us things and things like this, you know, teaching us like was like common sense and things like that is actually like a really like interesting thing to learn, because that like puts Kafka in a whole different perspective. Kafka is someone who like was spent a lot of time with us, and Blade even said we were like following her, but I'm not sure again if that's like us following her when we were doing that quest or if it was like just before all this happened. But Blade seems to remember something like that. But and I guess Blade was there too in the Xianzhou when that was happening. But she was given a task to protect us, and it seems like they thought she was like the best for the job in this case. And like even now, it seems that like she's like still very interested in like our path forward. And of course she is, because she did all this stuff to make sure that we like made friends in the trail, and the Astral Express made friends with everyone in the Xianzhou also. It's a really interesting like piece of information that we learned here about that, just because like it's and again, if we heard about this before, let me know. I might even ask some people if I've heard it before, and I'll put in a text here if I didn't hear this part before, because I know the first part seemed very familiar because we were like initiated at the start, right? We were booted up. But this means we have like a deeper connection to Kafka than we even thought. You know what I mean? We have a way different, deeper connection to Kafka than we even thought at this point as well. In terms of this mission itself, it was short, but I found it to be really interesting and intimate. It was like very like close in terms of like its quarters, and like it didn't really move that far out of the places. And I really just felt like it's like my favorite part of Kafka is that she's very like cunning, and she knows she can stare into your soul. And I think that was probably the intention here. She was trying to like get under our skin a little bit. But I actually found that to be like really, really Kafka. It was very Kafka is the way to put it. And to me, that made the mission like very Kafka. I don't keep saying that's very Kafka, but you know what I mean. The mission was very Kafka in a way that like that's exactly what I expect from Kafka at this point. Staring into my soul, very like you know, a cunning way to speak to people. Speaking kind of like even like the information that she's giving us, and as a reward for helping us or for helping her is in riddles. You know, it's in like a little mini game that you have to play with her as well, because she loves playing around with stuff. She loves being kind of like funny in her own way. She adores like not everything being straightforward. I think she likes when people are a little bit confused as well. It's like something that really makes her enjoy stuff too. And I found like the gameplay aspects really cool too. It was just a really simple quest that wasn't so simple, right? Because it had so many different like you know, little tidbits of information. But really, I feel like it was just one of those things that like makes me feel a little bit closer to Kafka in a way. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not as like, I am still like kind of like fearful of her as a character, and she kind of like still gets like into my head a lot. So like after this, I feel like after this, like this, again, it wasn't like a really interesting quest, and like Kafka still stares into my soul and gets into my brain. But I feel like the next time we talk is gonna be the most interesting thing in the world, right? Because we have had so many conversations now, and the Stell and Kafka conversations are always so interesting. But now it feels like Stell probably is getting more and more comfortable talking to her. We just had like a conversation with her for 40 or so minutes. I think it was 40 minutes. I could be wrong. But like, and even longer in game time. So like you have to, and it's that's why I find the Stellar Hunter so interesting to me, is that like 1 minute Kafka can be like infiltrating stuff and like doing some stuff that like might be seen as like enemy tactics. The next minute we're having a chat in front of a window about like, you know, and playing a mini game with each other, which of course she loved, she absolutely adored. I just find her as a character so fascinating. I really, really do. And it seems like 100% to me, I want to learn more about the Stellar Hunters. So like, because it seems to me that they are like, they have a path that they are following. It doesn't even seem to me, we know this, they have a path they're following. They have so many different things they have to do that's going to keep them on that path and keep us on that path, it seems too. And we're going to have to see how that goes too, because I can't wait to see more about the Stellar Hunters. Such interesting I'm going to say anti-heroes for now, right? Because I don't want to say villains, because I feel like applying the word villain to them right now doesn't really apply yet. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Thank you so much for supporting me all the time, and thank you so much for supporting this series. I had an absolutely a big blast with this actual episode as well. It was really, really fun. So, a patron was very kind as to send me the other answers, and I think this is something that, like, you know, while, like, it's like, oh, we should respect the game, but I also think it'd be a very interesting thing to see, like, what the other answers are. And, like, I think we will just look at the truthful answers as kind of a lore thing, and if we want to, we can look at the lies as well, because there's a lot of stuff here, too. So, for example, the question of who am I, we got the answer, which was the right one, which is, you're an artificial body created for the purpose of hosting Stellaron. From the moment of your birth, it was your destiny to receive the Stellaron and herd to space station. Before the task was completed, I was responsible for protecting you, as well as teaching you general knowledge, common sense, and combat skills. The reason why you don't remember is that I wiped your memory before the operation on her to space station. So we know that one. That would mean that, like, again, she was taking care of us in some way. Like, I wouldn't say taking care of us, but yeah, protecting you. Protecting you is taking care of us. So it is kind of like a very motherly figure for us in a lot of ways. The other one was, how am I able to host a Stellaron? Because you were created for that purpose. Your body has been transformed by the power of an Aeon. You're immune to Stellaron contamination, therefore you could say that you are one of a kind Stellaron vessel. So it's because we are immune to Stellaron contamination. So we know that we are immune to Stellaron contamination. One day, Elio handed you over to me, and this is the answer to what is my connection to you. One day, Elio handed you over to me. He said that if things continue to transpire according to the future possibility that he foresaw, you would eventually change me, and I would change you. In other words, you and I are each other's destiny. So Elio, like, gave us to Kafka and basically said, this is your destiny, and this is going to change you, and you're going to change her. So you're destined to meet each other. Which, like, to me, like, gives, like, more weight to the idea of, like, what Blade was saying, oh, you followed each other around, so, like, or you followed Kafka around. So we were, like, definitely, like, in Kafka's, like, protection squad at the very least as well. Which is very interesting then. So, like, even Kafka sees us as a part of her destiny, and we're a part, and she's a part of ours. She sees it that way. Very interesting. The lie to the who am I is, you at first, you were being accidentally created by an Aeon with a body with no soul. Elio guided you to me, but you were given a soul. That's nothing to say about your past. You only remember me because I was one with you when your soul was born. That's all there is to it. Imagine we, like, believe this. The Stellaron in question was modified after seizing it. Herta conducted a lot of research. This was how I'm able to house something. It's only the Stellaron in the universe that doesn't contaminate humans. As soon as Herta got bored, she forgot about the whole thing, but all her research was recorded in the Screwlum database.
Life is as...
So the answer too for who is Blade. She answers, I don't know. Blade didn't tell me. He said he doesn't know either. When he woke up, he didn't remember anything. Sometime later, a woman found him. She taught him swordplay and then killed him over and over again until it was too much for him to bear. Elio and Sam and me and Elio ordered Sam and me to find Blady and return with him. According to Elio, Blady's swordplay and immortality have important uses. That's all I know. So he has, like, the power of immortality, probably to do with the Mara Struck as well, right? So I wonder if that's Jing Lui, right? Who killed him over and over again. Who taught him everything she knew and then killed him over and over again. That could be the possibility. But yeah, the Mara Struck aspect of it must be, like, why he's kind of, like, immortal, but apparently he can, like, use it in different ways. And what is the connection between Blade and Dan Heng? Apparently they used to be good friends. Well, good friends who were bad for each other. Blade forgot nearly everything, so he doesn't remember it well together. They did something bad, something terrible that led to horrific consequences. That's the information I managed to piece together. Blady refused to tell me the details. So I wonder if this is a situation where it was with Dan Feng. Right, maybe? I wonder, because it could be a case where it's like Dan Feng and him did something bad together, and then he sees Dan Heng as Dan Feng, but obviously, like, they're not separating it here. So I wonder if the horrific thing they did, or the terrible thing they did, had to do with, like, why Dan Feng was, like, excommunicated, because we don't know fully what he did, right? We don't know fully what he did yet. So maybe that's the thing we were going to learn eventually, possibly? But even Kafka hasn't pieced it together fully, because Blade doesn't remember all of it. So we know that Blade was probably taught by Jing Lui. He's, like, immortal in some way. He was killed over and over again. We know this because he has the Mara Struck in him. We know he has to be, like, some element of, like, immortal. But it's being, like, contained, I guess, as we saw earlier. And he was good friends with Dan Feng, and they did something terrible together. The next topic is, who are you? The old me, I used to be a devil hunter. I grew up on the planet contaminated by a Stellaron. Purchers V, New Babylon. Humans there don't know what fear is. The concept of self-discipline doesn't exist. When people don't feel fear, they are dominated by desire, pleasure, and they become devils. When Elio found me, I was in the middle of a mission, and the conditions he offered me caught my interest. So she was, like, on a planet that didn't know fear. And then she was found by Elio in that moment during the mission. But it's like the idea of people become devil. People become a devil if they have no fear and they become dominated by desire and pleasure. So I guess Kafka would have hunted them down then at that point. And the next one is because I wanted to change myself, I have no mechanism for fear. There's an empty space in my mind and my heart, but I'm unable to perceive it. This is the answer to the question, did you join the Stellar? Why did you join the Stellar Hunters? I'm unable to perceive it. Changing that part of myself isn't something I can do alone. Elio can help me if I follow his instructions. So Kafka is saying that there's something empty inside of her and she doesn't know what it is. So maybe Elio, in his infinite wisdom of the paths, can maybe find that what she is missing. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's another really interesting answer as well. And then the other ones is destiny predetermined? And the answer is, the truth is no. So you can, we know this to be true though, because of the way that they do this path stuff, because if it was predetermined, then no matter what it was going to happen, they wouldn't have to like do anything, right? You know what I mean? We know the answer to this, because if they wouldn't have to even have us make friends with the Xianzhou, right? And then we use the other one then with the idea of the 1 + 1 = 2, right? And if they, no matter what, it's the same answer here. So yeah, we knew that destiny wasn't predetermined because, again, the reason why they're here is to make sure destiny goes on the right path. There are lies as well that we can look at here too, but I was worried. I wanted to do them at the end because I felt like it would have like been too not confusing, but like we didn't want to like mix them together. But what we learned about this here in terms of ourselves, that we were an artificial body created for the purpose of housing the Stellaron. We were created for that purpose specifically, and we were immune to the Stellaron contamination. We were handed over by Elio to Kafka because we are a part of each other's destiny. We are destined to be a part of each other's destiny. The other part of this is with Blady. He was probably trained by Jingliu. He's immortal, struck by the Mara struck in some way, and it's going to be of use to us, to the Stellar Hunters in some way, to do with what his swordplay and his immortality. And he was friends with Don Fong, and they both did something really terrible, and now they don't even know the details of what they did together, but they were friends. The other answer then for who Kafka is, she was a devil hunter who grew up on a planet where there was no fears, and only they had like desires and pleasures, and she was found by Elio, and the conditions he offered me found were an interest to her. And then she wants to change something with herself. There's an emptiness inside of her, and only Elio can truly find out what that emptiness is. So freaking interesting. We can read the lies here as well. I have no problem doing that. So the first lie here is, for who am I is, at first you were being accidentally created by an Aeon. With the body no soul, Elio guided me to you, and you were given a soul that's nothing to say about your past. You only remember me because I was one with you when your soul was born. That's all there is to it. How am I able to host the Stellaron? The lie was, the Stellaron in question was modified after seizing it. Her to conduct a lot of research. It's only the Stellaron in the universe that doesn't contaminate humans. Okay, so she said, that's interesting. So the answer here would have been like, hey, this is the only one that doesn't contaminate anyone, instead of telling us that we are immune to it. As soon as Turtle got bored, she forgot about the whole thing. But all her research was recorded in the Scrollum database. Silverwolf retrieved it when she hacked into planet Scrollum, and so Elio saw a new future possibility. Again, so interesting how like she would come up with such a crazy lie here. And then what is my connection to you? Genetically speaking, you are my child. A quarter of the data that makes up your body comes from me. Of course, neither Silverwolf nor Blady nor Sam are well suited for looking after a child, so the burden of mentoring you fell on me. It was a stressful job, and I dumped you on a train as soon as I got the chance. And again, we know the true answer is that we are destined to be, we're destined to cross paths. We're destined to change each other's lives. That's what we're destined to do. We are each other's destiny, which is so interesting. In terms of the answer of who is Blade, he's a long-life species. Apparently, he was a sword champion in the Xianzhou at some point. The Ten Lords Commission planned to execute him, but he managed to escape from the shackling prison. He was severely injured. He nearly got everything. He nearly forgot everything, and Elio ordered Sam and me to find Blady and return with him. According to Elio, Blady's swordplay and immortality have important uses, that's all I know. So that part's true. You know what I mean? But it's like this idea, again, it's like a little bit of a stretching of the truth here more than even like because again, I don't know how much of this is stuff like could be like a stretching of the truth and a lie, but this could sound very believable. You know what I mean? Definitely. What is the connection between Blade and Dan Heng? Master disciple. Blady said that Dan Heng's in previous life, Dan Heng was his apprentice. A long time ago, several Blade's apprentices joined forces to kill him. After his revival, Blady forgot nearly every thing, but he remembered the night his apprentices killed him. He's been searching the whole universe for those who took his life to make them pay in blood. And we know it was actually Jingluyi who killed him over and over again. And in actuality, it was him and Danfeng who did something terrible with each other. And that's how they, and that's the connection between them, I suppose. The next one, in terms of a lie, is, and this is the last one we'll be looking at here, is about Kafka. Who are you? The old me, I used to be a knight of beauty. We worship Idrila, the Aeon of beauty. We vowed to guard their beauty with the sword, but one day they suddenly disappeared. I lost my faith and was recruited by Elio. That's how I joined the Stellar Hunters. I would have believed this. You know what I mean? She's a beautiful character, but like this sounds like something that would make you like, it's like I used to be the worshipped Aeon of beauty, and now I was recruited by Elio when I lost my fate. But the other answer, the real answer, is like so much more interesting to me as well. The fact that she was a devil hunter who was found by Elio and his conditions interested her. Why did you join the Stellar Hunters? Because she says, I have a future that I want, as I told to you. Elio was able to glimpse through possibilities. As long as I followed the instructions he promised to tell me, it would take me to move towards the future I wanted. Which again, we know the actual answer is she feels empty. There's an emptiness inside of her, which again is such an interesting response as well. All of this like that we've learned here in these answers, there's not a lot. It's not a crazy amount of lore. But I think they did such a good job of like having like these very quick answers that give you some really cool information as well. Like to me anyway, like some really cool answers to give you. I know it like goes against the spirit of the game to do this, but I would have gotten one of these answers anyway, so I feel like it's like, look, whatever, just like let's just check out what the true answers could be as well for a little bit of extra lore as well. Like learning about like Kafka's past and how she was found by Elio and she wanted to join the Stellar Hunters because she had an emptiness in her heart. She used to be a devil hunter. And again, it's not something that's like gonna make or break like the whole game, but it is pretty interesting to see. We have the stuff with we know for a fact destiny isn't predetermined. The stuff with Blade and Don Hong is that him and Don Feng were good friends and did something terrible with the I keep saying with each other together. And he obviously remembers this as well. And he was, I think it had to be trained by Jingluyi, killed over and over again. And then they want to use Blade in some way because he has the power of immortality and he has fantastic swordplay. And then, of course, about ourselves as well. I think the stuff about ourselves is like the most like, revealing in some way. Like we knew we were like kind of initiated and booted up right at the start of the game. But we were also like, kind of like brought around the place, protected and taught. And it's a motherly thing to teach you common sense, to like teach you knowledge, general knowledge. That's a thing like a parent, not just mother, like a parent will do. But obviously I'm saying mother here because of Kafka. And like it's also like teaching us how to fight and stuff like this as well, but like the whole thing of like protecting you and teaching you general knowledge and common sense to me like is a very like motherly parental thing to do. I hope it doesn't sound like this whole thing I've just been like it's only mothers. Of course it's because it's Kafka, because she's our mother in this case, you know what I mean? She's our mother now. Because you were, and then of course like the old idea of like we're the only thing that can withstand the power of a Celeron as well. And also that we are tied to Kafka's destiny. There's all this information, so interesting that we have all this here, which means we're going to meet Kafka again, and she's never going to leave us alone, and that's the way I want it as well. But with that, I want to say thank you so much to Never Gonna Pay Baby Gangster on Patreon for being so awesome. That being Typhar 2, Jamie Bull, Jonathan Banana, The Ghost of Zuma, Felicious Felix, Yuld, Radish, Anusta, Death Trap, Lynx, Marky, Assassin, Tribute About Peter Shelson, Heck, Leon, High Kasparian, Jared Beanham, and the highest tier of my YouTube, RoyalGamer7, and Blasco. I'll see you so soon. Bye-bye. Talk about all the other stuff that we learned as well, and we might get like some more of that stuff too. But for now, I want to say thank you so much to the Never Gonna Play Baby Gangster on Patreon for being so cool. That being Typhar 2, Jamie Bull, Johnny the Banana, The Ghost of Inazuma, Felicious Felix, Yuld, Radish, Adusta, Death Trap, Lynx Marky, The Assassin, True Peanut Butter, Peter Shelson, Heck, Leanne, High Kasparian, Jared Beanham at the highest tier of my YouTube members, Blasco, RoyalGamer7. I'll see you all so soon. Bye-bye.